Credit Union with rates as low as 10.90% APR. And you can apply online at carolinafcu.org/visa or drop by their office at 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville. Make holiday shopping easy with your new fixed-rate Visa card with 1% cash back from Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville. There's a brand new Wednesday night special at Love's Fish Box in Kings Mountain. But first, on Tuesdays after 4 p.m., it's Alaskan whitefish with all the trimmings for just $6.99. And now on Wednesday nights, you've asked for them, and now you got them. Beef tips. That's right, beef tips. With your choice of fries or baked potato, slaw or salad, peppers and onions, or mushroom gravy for only $9.95. And on Thursdays, it's their 8-ounce hamburger steak with your choice of baked potato, slaw, or salad for only $6.99 at Love's Fish Box, 1104 Shelby Road, Highway 74 Business West in Kings Mountain.
The game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football?
Your sports leader, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and WCSL Cherryville Gastonia.
Hello, this is Milton Baker inviting you to listen to NASCAR Racing right here on WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Man, I only do things incredible can, cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
And good morning on another Saturday morning sports talk with Kevin Hastings, Hunter Yancey, Tom Stefani, Terry Ronhart, and as always, making them sound good, JP at the soundboard.
Oh,
Y'all
did y'all
there?
hear that?
Yeah.
Is this I think this is this week's.
I have to look at that, make sure. But good morning, JP.
Good morning.
Did you hear his introduction to him about himself there, guys? As always, making the sound good.
I make y'all sound good. I mean, hey.
Well, man, keep telling yourself that. If it keeps you showing up on Saturdays, then there you go.
If I wasn't here, I could just turn y'all off, and y'all would never say a thing, like I did just now. Y'all aren't on the air.
A lot of times that we turn you off when you're never here.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh, never mind.
He turns himself off too sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
man,
but we like you, JP. We glad you're here, buddy. I like your little. Is that like a Santa Claus camouflage?
It is a camo Santa hat. Yes.
Look out.
I was
wondering if I could see you. I just barely saw you in there in the wilderness.
Well, we got to, speaking of Santa Claus, guys, big announcement. Ready? Kings Mountain today. He will be riding around up and down some of the streets this afternoon between noon and 4. Instead of, having a Christmas parade this year, they're going to do a Santa's own parade, I guess.
Sounds like he's all alone.
And KTC is...
You can't really call that a parade.
Is KTC following him around?
Well, yes. We are broadcasting it live from basically the float. So You can watch it live today on YouTube as Santa drives around Kings Mountain. I've got all the stops here. There's too many to list. I got like 5 pages worth of stops. It's going to be 4 hours, you should imagine. So you guys pray for me. I'm gonna be cold.
Yeah, the wind's going to be blowing.
Yeah, thanks, Terry.
You're welcome.
Listen, here's the thing about going to Appalachia. Everybody says, well, you should be used to the cold. You should like the cold. And like that's not how it works. I get educated on how to deal with the cold. I will be the most bundled up person there is, and they're like, you're supposed to be used to it. No. I'm educated. You're going to be cold in a little bit. I'm going to be toasty. Y'all, when I go to a football game, I'm good usually. So it's going to be fun out there. Andre is the cameraman, myself, and then we've got a new intern who will come in next Saturday and help out a little bit. And so JP. You gotta put in a good performance there after especially boasting about how good you were, and then with an intern coming in next week,
No. I didn't say I was good at it. I just said I made y'all sound good.
The big thing, JP, is just be here on time. Yeah.
I will be here on time.
Be here on time, JP. Well, good morning, buddy. What you eating in there?
I think I'm about to destroy some grits, toast, and bacon and eggs.
What do you like on your grits, JP? You're a grits man.
Yes, I am.
So I just said, what do you like on them?
Oh, if I'm making my own grits, I want butter, I want cheese, I want hot stuff, jalapenos. I'll eat anything on grits.
He likes hot grits, Hunter.
Hot grits.
Tommy, bacon, egg, and cheese on toast.
I had a bacon, egg, and cheese on toast. Thank you, Terry. It's the one thing that I like about you. Everything else is pretty much I don't, but you do.
Tom, we'll get into all that here in a minute.
What'd you have, Terry?
I had the same thing that JP's got. The same exact thing with some grits, and I'm pretty easy with easing my grits. So I take salt and pepper and a good bit of butter.
JP, did I leave a pink disc in there? Laying on the desk.
Y'all see a pink disc? No, I don't see a pink. I see a pink
disc with some stuff we need for our show
with
today.
Tom's phone number, but I don't see a pink.
Okay, well,
disc.
I thank you.
There's a yellow one.
I'll go look for it. It won't be that hard. If you're anything like my son, you may be the worst hide and go seeker ever. Just awful, Hunter. He couldn't find a charger for his computer the other day. The one was in his computer bag. The other was on the computer desk where he does his work.
It just didn't look.
Just confounded him. He couldn't find it. Yeah. I can't find it, Daddy. Yeah, you're really trying to do your work. Well, today we've got all kinds of things to talk about. Fight night from last weekend. We've got Ncaa basketball starting up. We've got a good, funny segment of bad picks up in a little bit. We've got Ncaa football picks to talk and scores. We've got NFL to talk about. We've got high school athletic association with new rules, and more importantly, they've divided into 4 A's again. We got realigned every 4 years. So we've got some realignment news, where teams are moving, where they might be. We don't know conferences exactly yet, but we can pretty much guess. And then they've reduced from 8 champions, Hunter, to 4. So no longer will we have 1 AA, 2 AA. We're guessing how we do.
They need 5.
I agree with 5.
They need 5.
Your upper group, we need to do what South Carolina did and
do
have
a big 16.
Big 16.
I like 5 in charters. It would be my end game on that, but we'll might never happen with that, but we'll look at that in just a little bit. It's the and then we've got some NBA trade news, Hunter, involving your team, and we might talk about Scottie Pippen if we have to.
Yeah, we ain't talking about Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, we might do. So anyway, breakfast this morning from where, Terry?
Mitchum's Kitchen. 704-276-1155. Carol and Robin and all their people up there who work for them be more than happy to have you come in and sit down and eat, or you can get it to go. Again, Mitchum's Kitchen, 704-276-1155. And a lot of people, Tom, say that's the only reason I'm here, because I bring the food.
That's the only reason why you're here. You're certainly not here for your expertise.
I do pretty good.
You're the only one that'll actually come up and get here in the morning, so we can't fire you yet.
Oh yeah.
We only keep you here because you make good hot takes that end up on the bad takes.
I don't even want to hear the bad picks. The week before that, I don't even think I missed but one. We had about 500 to pick from.
Oh man, we had too many. Somebody didn't show up for work last night.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's all right.
Somebody over here. I think there was a new plan after the election. You just get to lay out of work and get paid anyway. So Kevin was taking advantage of that last week.
So Hunter, real quick, I've got to run down the hall because JP did have a pink disc in there right next to him.
Did he think it was red?
He said, I thought you meant a CD. Well, who has a pink CD these days?
Well, that's not a disc.
What, USB disc?
It's a USB drive.
Whatever. Either way, jeez. Semantics with you guys is just getting ridiculous. You see the pink thing? Huh?
Go ahead, Tom. If you want something, you gotta say.
I'm confused.
I'm missing my friendship Dodge paper.
Oh, it's probably in this stack. Right
okay, just wanted to make sure that we got that.
I've also got the list of the games.
There it is. There it is.
Sorry,
okay,
Tom.
just want to make
You
sure.
scared me there for a second. I thought JP had passed out or something, and you're just trying to tell me that. Hey,
no,
look,
I was trying to ask
guy.
where the friendship paper was. I didn't want people to know how disorganized we are, but friendship.
We
Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-919-3001. Give them a call. Sure, they'll give you a good deal on a Grand Cherokee or maybe a Gladiator. Give them a call. Once again, that's 828-919-3001. And Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension, also in Forest City, 828-245-1661. That's the same frontward and backwards, Terry. It's hard to forget that one, 1661. So give them a call for a Nissan Rogue, a Jeep Gladiator, all kinds of cool cars over there, Terry. And maybe they'll give you a free set of tires if you get one.
No, I've been looking. I'm still waiting on my car to pop up in my driveway.
Terry, you might be waiting quite a bit for that.
Man.
Don't hold your breath around Christmas.
Is it surprising to you?
It's a sponsorship.
Is it surprising to you the number of employees around here that want free stuff?
What?
No.
I mean, it's just amazing the number of employees we have. We got Kevin who doesn't want to come to work, get paid. We got Terry who wants a free car. What do you want that's free, Hunter?
Oh, jeez.
Hunter's been taught to work for a living, Terry. That if you want a vehicle, you have to work
right
for
by the man that owns this company here.
That's right.
But,
that's right.
But that's beside the point. I'll have to get back to you on that. I haven't really just sat there and thought about what do I want if it was free. Now, I will say this. I know that we just talked about, Dodges and Jeep stuff. I would like a Tesla, though, if it was free.
Yeah.
I think
you sound like my daughter. It must be a young person thing.
Yeah. And the way I've looked at it is, they're going to come out with new models every few years. So I might we'll keep my eye out going forward.
Every time a Tesla goes by, that's my daughter says, ooh, Tesla.
Ooh, Tesla. Yes.
Before I can even look.
You got to say it, though, because you can't hear it.
Yes.
You'd never know it was next to you.
Yeah,
You'd never know it was next to you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into... There was supposed to be some sort of, I guess it was an exhibition fight this week. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it because I knew I was going to see whatever the highlights were on Twitter later. And that's exactly what it was. And the one that was the main highlight and has now actually started to pick up traction was the YouTuber Jake Paul knocking out ex-NBA player and let's remind people, 3-time dunk champion, Nate Robinson. Now, just because Nate Robinson was an athlete doesn't mean he can fight. And so for him to get in the ring like he did, and I'm not saying that Jake Paul is the best fighter ever.
Was there a fight?
Yes.
See, there's the problem. Nobody even knew it happened.
See, listen.
There's the problem.
This is what
people didn't even know it.
But this is what I have a problem with.
I was watching it, Jerry.
But this is what I have a problem with it. So Jake Paul obviously has made a bunch of money off of media through YouTube and other investments that he's done throughout the years. Him and his brother, they've made a ton of money. And so they've been able to, I guess, just get into boxing kind of leisurely. They've been able to at least get classes, probably get some of the best people out there to train them. And so, okay, you've been able to box on the scene for a few years. Don't get all high and mighty because you knocked out an ex-NBA player who's probably never. If you watch him throw any punches, he's never boxed a day in his life, and so you've got a big chest about that. But what makes me mad about it is this week, because the fight was last week. This week he's been on multiple talk shows, calling out, saying he wants UFC fighters coming out of the octagon to fight him in a boxing ring. And he said I've been on the phone with Dana White. I'm not taking any small fights. Let's just go out here and do big fights, and I'm going to, and he said the name Conor. He said, I want McGregor and I'm going to knock him out. And I'm sitting here and I'm just listening to this fool just
Conor killing.
Speak this nonsense. Like, I don't think he realizes the difference between fighting against an athlete that has never boxed a day in his life and people that I know that they are UFC fighters and boxing isn't really, that they don't just focus on that. But their stand-up game, I mean, they can at least throw better punches than what I saw Nate Robinson throw. I think this is just blasphemous. Don't you think it's funny? Sometimes that would be like me walking out somewhere after I've had maybe a few months of training in boxing. Say, yeah, I want to take on Conor McGregor.
I have no interest in fighting Conor McGregor. I'll just go ahead and be quite honest with you.
I just think it's pure. I think someone needs to get his head checked because
people just say stuff for publicity. They want to get their name in the
now.
news.
He probably realizes, and you can agree with me that he would probably make a fantastic payday off of a fight like that. He did. He put Nate Robinson on the ground.
If you listen on radio, we do have live video on Saturdays. Today we're on YouTube, not on Facebook, because part of this fight, I'm going to tell y'all guys our fun part of the story. Right now we have a reenactment of of what happened in the Nate Robinson-Jake Paul fight. JP knocks out Terry. Referee Tom's there, and then this sleazy guy back here in this suit and gloves and spiked hair making innocuous bets going on. Hunter in the background, but Nate got knocked out. Terry, and they're calling it instead of Night, they're saying Nate right now.
Okay. I didn't even know such a fight even went on. So there you go. So that shows how much it was publicity.
It was one of the prelims. Prelims to an exhibition fight.
So Saturday night, Terry, we had a watch party on YouTube here on KTC. Originally started out on Facebook, and when we started out, there was a rapper on the TV. You could just hear the TV just a minute ago, right, in our background. We weren't paying attention, and I had to go down the hall, set up the links and everything for people to watch. By the time I come back, minute two, we had a bunch of viewers, and then all of a sudden Facebook kicked us off and then banned me for 3 days. I couldn't even post why we got kicked off, when we got kicked off, or anything, where to go next. So that's why we had to switch over to YouTube. So today, for our viewers looking for us, we are on YouTube today, and we may stay there. It picked up the guy in the background rapping, and they kicked us off. So anyway, just we can play any song we want to in the radio. We can, stream it on our streaming stuff. But if anything has anything to do with video on Facebook and YouTube, like I told Santa today, I was like, Santa, you can't play, your jingle bells, or we're gonna get kicked off. So
you can't. Don't do it. We can't afford to be banned again.
Can't you wait for that conversation again today?
Listen, Santa, I just want to remind you that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Jingle Bells, they're off the table. You're gonna have to make up your own song.
I think they're old enough to be exempt from the copyright laws, I believe.
He better. He's gonna get tennis elbow today, ringing that bell, trying to make some noise, because I'm not gonna allow him to play Jingle Bells. But anyway, so we did the fight, and we're sitting here, and this fight started. It was myself, my cousin Zach, Chris Nelson, and Will Boykins, and Will walked in right after this happened, so he just missed it. And Terry, Paul has obviously trained fighting, and Nate Robinson looked like he had never trained. Looked like he just came in, I think I'm going to whip this YouTuber for, just go here and because I'm an athlete. Well, I mean, it wasn't 2 seconds in, I said, guys, surely God, Nate's not going to get beat by the YouTuber, right? And then he got knocked down. I was like, oh my God, maybe he will. And then a minute later, the round, he stood up and got knocked down. The referee let him back up and was like, he's got to call it now. And then he looked, they showed a close-up of his face, and there was no white in his eyes. It's like, he looks high, or he's out, something. And then he took 2 steps, he just fell forward, and when he leaned in, Paul hit him in the top of the head and knocked him out, and you see the result of you laying on the mat right there. So.
Dang, Terry. I thought you'd put up a better fight with JP.
Okay.
Well, look at Terry laying there. At least he's got a smile on his face. I mean, look at Terry. You look 10 times better than Nate Robinson did at the end of that. I'll tell you that right now. And I said something about, I think Roy had 9 losses, and Will said, you got to be pretty good to get 9 losses. I was like, Nate ain't getting to 2 losses. It's not happening. But when you're untrained, Terry, like in wrestling, like in you was talking high school and stuff, you can be the best athlete out there, but if you're untrained, it's not going to matter when you place. This isn't MMA. He almost kind of MMA'd him and tried to like wrestle him and grab his waist, and he got knocked out. Is what happened. So talk a little bit about that as far as boxing wise. The trained fighter always usually does the better as far as being prepared in the fight, right? Every
time the train, but I didn't even know that was on, Hunter. I didn't have no clue.
Listen,
didn't know that was on. Didn't watch it.
I saw all the memes,
didn't
the
really
jokes
care.
on social media.
So Terry, if you're making who's the best fighter, not pound for pound. Where I'm not. See, Tom. He wants to. Do
I'll do
Kyle
that.
Kyle Busch heavyweight. Terry, who's the best heavyweight
that I've ever seen?
We'll do that. The best heavyweight. You can. However, you remember how we did whatever rankings. However you want to put it. Who you think is the best, greatest, whatever heavyweight that you've ever seen. However you want to put it. If he was on Mount Rushmore, you had one pick for Mount Rushmore. This guy's on it.
Yep, Lennox Lewis.
I was not waiting on that one.
Lennox Lewis.
All right,
he was pretty good.
Lennox Lewis just put out a little documentary on his life.
So Lennox Lewis is your best fighter you've seen.
He would be the guy that I would take.
I think you're messing with me.
No, I'm serious.
I'm not saying
if I ever had Larry Holmes, I always liked Larry Holmes. I always liked some of them, but Lennox Lewis always seemed like he's always under control, no matter what was going on. Never really took hard punches from anybody, and was always kept enough space between him and the boxer he was fighting to, really to destroy the guy over rounds and rounds and rounds. He destroyed Larry Holmes. When he fought him, he destroyed a lot of fighters. Mike Tyson, that wasn't even a fight. Lennox Lewis had him from the time they said ding for the first round, But I guess, a lot of people are going to say Muhammad, and Muhammad was good. He really was good. But if, in my time, if I had to pick one, it would be Lennox Lewis. There's been some good heavyweight boxers, y'all. Mike Tyson was the ultimate when he first come in there until Buster,
till he went to prison. He got beat by
Buster Douglas kind of changed his whole thing about it.
We talked a lot about this week about Tyson's power, his skills, and in the fight, he was. For anybody who knows anything about Roy versus Tyson, Roy's like a bigger Floyd Mayweather, where he just bounces around, tries not to get hit. He dances, he spins, he does all kinds of weird things in the ring. And Tyson was relentless in tracking him, Terry. So he would be in the middle of the ring, like if we're sitting here at our little octagon or whatever, or what is it, 6? We got 8. Do we have 8? 6. He was always pushing towards the ropes, and Roy was on the defensive. And Tyson has always been one of the most technical fighters. I always thought his problem was his height. He is only 5'11" in 220. When you talk about Lennox Lewis is 6'5", and I was talking about Hunter Tyson's most lethal thing was his uppercut. Well, you uppercutting a 6-foot person and you're 5'11", you're hitting them full power here. If you're reaching up here, you're losing so much leverage in your elbow and in your shoulder power that I do think the bigger guys would give Tyson problems, even if they weren't as quick as him. I don't even know if Lennox is even as powerful as Mike, but he was just bigger than him.
Yeah, he was way bigger.
And where I'm going kind of with that one, what do you think about George Foreman?
What do I think about George Foreman? Great fighter. I think George, and when I think of George Foreman, I think of Joe Frazier. 2 different styles of boxing. Because, Joe would just keep coming at you no matter where you went, no matter how many times you hit him, he always coming forward, But George would lay back a little bit. But if I had to, and that's when we went back before when me and you was discussing stuff and we kept going pound for pound. The pound for pound fighters are usually light featherweight, you know,
That's
in that
also
division.
like a college football argument too, based on opinions. And it's like,
It
I'll say
is.
take Sugar Ray, I'll take Floyd, I'll take Roy Jones.
You know, but I always look at that, and when people ask me who's the best boxer of all time, well, number one, have you had any losses? I mean, you know, pound for pound, and that's where Crawford and Mayweather always come to
So
my,
Rocky's
on my
number
side.
one then, right?
You know, well, he could be, you know. I mean, some people say
Tom
that.
Foreman's record, 81 total fights, 76 wins, 68 knockouts in 76 wins.
I remember back in the 90s when he fought Michael Moore. I was in college, and he hit – Michael Moore was dominating the fight.
Yeah.
And Foreman hit him one time, and it literally looked like somebody took a hot iron and put it on his face because his lips were just all deformed.
Yeah.
Because he just hit him one time, and it was like, boom, and Michael Moore just buckled over and hit. I felt sorry for Michael.
Foreman had a total of 5 losses in his career. 3 of them were after the age of 40. So, but Ali beat him, and then another guy beat him that I don't really know knew his name, or ever heard of him.
But they were fighters that were in the heavyweight. Like Michael Spinks went to the heavyweight. Should have never been allowed to be in a heavyweight division.
The Spinks jinx, man. The Spinks
I mean, he got destroyed. Mike Tyson just destroyed him. I mean, that fight was
over. That was
over.
back in the mid-'80s.
Yeah, that fight was over when it started. Now, you had his brother, Leon Spinks, you know, beat Muhammad. And then Muhammad come back and beat him. You know, but I still got the Sports Illustrated with Leon on it with the teeth missing in the front. The whole front cover of Sports Illustrated.
Well, that was supposed to be a big fight. Well, Spinks Tyson. I mean, that was a big fight back in the day. Remember that, Terry? It's like I remember like being a kid waiting for that to come on at night, and then it was over in one round.
Fast. It was scary of how Michael Spinks was almost scared of him before the fight ever started. That's what gets me. It's a lot of times when they walk up and they're squaring off when the referee's going on what's going to happen, and you'll see fighters looking at the ground. They won't even look at the other guy. You know, but Michael, he was like staring him down, but you could see fear in his eyes with Mike Tyson standing in front of him.
But you remember that they thought that Spinks was going to get, if I remember correctly, Spinks was left-handed, and they thought that was going to give Tyson a hard time.
But there's always been fights that I sat back and I have watched also, like Holmes versus Muhammad Ali. Larry Holmes' all-time great fighter to him was Muhammad Ali, and he was beating Muhammad so bad. He kept looking at the referee like, stop it.
Stop the fight.
Yeah, stop the fight, because, I mean, you want me to – this is my legend here in front of me, and I'm beating him to death. Can you not stop it? Yeah. And he kept – I mean, he done that for like the last 2 or 3 rounds he fought him. Like, just stop it. And finally they did, But sometimes I think you leave fighters in there too long and bad things happen to them. And now we see, the longer effect of what happened to Muhammad, but that could have come from anybody he fought because he was a guy who always went back to a corner and let you just beat away with him. And then in about the 6th, 7th round, he says, okay, it's time for me to fight. And he'd beat you to death.
Imagine if he didn't go to prison for 3 years.
Yeah.
He had those years.
So as far as, was Tyson the biggest, trying to explain to these kids, like, as far as a star or kids, I call Hunter's a kid now, but it was explain to them how big Tyson a star was. Like it was any other boxer. I know Ali was big in his own way, but there's a lot of people who didn't like Ali. Now, as far as Tyson goes, until he got arrested and everything, was he not like he was Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, that Mike Tyson? He was a star of stars back in the day.
Well, Mike Tyson was one of those when he come up. He put fear in you when you had the preliminary 2 days or 3 days before when he'd tell you, I'm going to eat the heart out of you. I mean, I don't like you and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Did he tell Lance Lewis he's going to eat his kids or something like that?
I mean, they was things
I'm going to eat your children. But did you see the cake from Tyson?
Yes,
we
I
talked
saw
about that last
that.
weekend. That was awesome. That was hilarious.
Yeah. But I mean, now there was a fight
too.
when you knew Mike Tyson had really lost it because Evander Holyfield beat him a couple times, and Evander Holyfield, after he bit his ear off. I mean, you could tell then that Mike Tyson had lost it.
Holyfield's such a weird fighter in the fact you talking about like Hunter Ali would take a punishment but come back and win and with style and whatever. Holyfield just stood. He was like the dog that got attacked by 10 other dogs that just never died. He just stood in there, took whatever beating you could. You had to knock him out or he was going to win.
Yeah.
And George Foreman did the same thing. He beat him up. Tyson had to bite him and still couldn't get him out. Lennox Lewis had problems with him as well. Like he was just like a punching bag who took whatever you could get. And he's wanting to come back and fight Tyson again, Terry. And if I'm Tyson, honestly, I wouldn't want to do it because he just takes again. Why go in there with someone who can take whatever punishment you can give him? I know he's old. You might be able to knock him out this time, but anyway. All right, so let's get ready to move on to NCAA basketball coming up after the break. Hunter's got to talk about his Tar Heels. He had to rush home and watch them this week. And are we good or bad now, Hunter? Thumbs up.
Yeah, we're talking
where we
about
at?
it. We're talking about it.
All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes on KTCBroadcasting.com.
You know, we always tell our kids that there's no such thing as a money tree. But did you know at Friendship Nissan in Forest City, we kind of do have a money tree? Our money tree gives a $500 better price on any new Nissan, and that's a $500 guarantee that we put in writing. We have no haggle clear choice pricing, the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and we have the only lifetime warranty with no time or mileage limits. So you see, at Friendship Nissan, we kind of do have a money tree, and we're located in Forest City.
A special drive-through event to honor veterans will be held on Monday, December 7th from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. in the parking lot of the Gaston Gazette. Join the boss as we broadcast live on WLON for this special event. Veterans, active duty military personnel, and their families will receive free Hillbillies barbecue during this drive-through event. Vietnam veteran Mick McMahon, the founder of Stand for This, Kneel for This campaign, wants to use this event to pay tribute to all those who have served. Plus, the Stand for This, Kneel for This product line, including apparel, cups, totes, mugs, face masks, flags, and more, will be introduced. So join us for our live radio remote broadcast on WLON from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Monday, December 7th. Again, all veterans, active duty military personnel, and their families are invited during this special drive-through event for a free Hillbillies barbecue meal in the parking lot of the Gaston Gazette.
Ho, ho, ho! It's time to go! Go register for the $1,000 Christmas shopping spree to be given away on Monday, December 21st. Someone will win a $1,000 Christmas shopping spree from one of our local sponsors.
Thanks, Santa. Register today at Victoria Stevens on East Warren Street in Shelby, at Horns Tire and Auto on Main Street in Ellenboro, at Arnold's Jewelry South Washington Street in Shelby, at Medical Center Pharmacy on East Academy Street in Cherryville, at Friendship Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Oak Street Extension in Forest City, at Guns and Lead Therapy on Highway 74 bypass between Shelby and Kings Mountain, at Mountain Holiday on West Mountain Street in Kings Mountain, at MS Power Sports on East Franklin Boulevard, Gastonia, at LDP Farms on Highway 18 north in Bellwood, and at Mitchum's Kitchen on Highway 182 west in Vale. Register today. See individual store for in-store details. Again, drawing will be live on the Boston Carolina Country Monday, December 21st. A complete list of sponsors is available at whatsupshopper.com.
Do like Santa. Shop for Christmas at This and That Trading Post in Dallas. Hey, this week, you'll find Call of Duty battle drones for $20. Motherland bamboo sheets are $15. All-Star Pinball Desktop Arcade games are $12.50. Air fryers, $47.50. This and That Trading Post in Dallas has a 7-piece copper cookware set for $56.75. Copper Chef 11-inch square pans with lids, just $27.50. Camo hats are $5, and Christmas decorations, 2 for just 75 cents. At This and That Trading Post, 3857 Dallas, High Shoals Road in Dallas, right across from the trade lot.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. They're going to be talking about some sports.
College basketball.
College basketball.
JP, I need to get you on I should have got you to ride the Kings Mountain train today. The Santa train today is at noon o'clock today on KTC YouTube. watch live. Links are on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook and Twitter for the links, or you can just go to YouTube, type in KDC Broadcasting or Kings Mountain Santa Parade. Tommy?
And Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram sponsoring us this morning. Thank you. They're located at 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City. You can call them at 828-919-3001. That's 828-919-3001. And Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina. 828-245-1661. That's 828-245-1661. Give them a call.
And always right here at Christmas time, if you're thinking about a brand new car or something, give them a holler, pull up their page on the internet and look and see what they got, then call the guys.
Yeah, my brother.
They'll give you a great deal.
My brother and his girlfriend both purchased Jeep products from there, and they're very satisfied with the service and the quality of the product, so give them a call.
I have been both a Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, both, but say all three. A detail man, a salesman, and an owner of said products as well. So get up there and see Thomas Borgello and the gang in Forest City. Either one, I'm sure he could help you if you don't got what you have. If they don't have what you need at one, well at the other. Like I said, intern coming in next week. He is a Clemson fan,
we forgive him.
Falcons fan.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, God, I really forgive him.
A Braves or Indians fan.
Oh, well, Tom will have somebody to hold his hand.
All right.
And a Lakers / whoever LeBron is on.
Okay, I'm sorry. You can't come in. I'm sorry.
He can't come in.
You can't come in.
Well, Tanner, hope he does come in next week. He'll be there today helping out a little bit on the side. Let's see. So we've got NCAA basketball to talk about, Hunter. And you wanted to mention the geographically speaking, nobody does better than the NCAA. So we've got the Maui Invitational. These higher institutions of education. The Maui Invitational was in the Great Smoky Mountains this year, up in Asheville, and we've got the champion Texas Longhorns. Is that who it was? Yeah.
Listen, I have no problem with it being
Hook
in
'em horns,
Asheville.
Hunter?
No.
No hook 'em horns?
I'll do what Oklahoma does to them. Horns down.
Listen, you be careful what kind of hand signals you start throwing around here, Hunter. We'll have you on a highlight reel.
Everybody knows horns down. Regardless, watching the game, I had no problem with it being in Nashville. If that's what the NCAA had to do regionally, or at least because they maybe couldn't travel to Hawaii. I don't know how strict Hawaii is being with traveling to that state.
If you lived in Hawaii, would
sports.
you not vote yes on don't let anybody here anyway? Year round?
And don't let anybody.
We've got a nice little place here, guys.
Yeah, we get to go outside all year
y'all
round.
Stay right there where you are. How about just no strangers at all?
I had no problem with it being in Asheville. I couldn't tell the difference. It's inside anyways, so it really didn't matter where they played it.
Correct.
It was strange that they still didn't call it the Maui Invitational, but that's beside the point. What I did was Wednesday, I did want to get home.
They already printed the T-shirts up, so they couldn't change the name.
Yeah, they couldn't change the name. Wednesday, I wanted to get home to watch North Carolina. I had watched North Carolina play twice already this year. The first one really was a no-contest game. It was against College of Charleston. I expected them to come out and win. They did.
They struggled.
And then I watched Stanford. I watched them play Stanford, and I watched them struggle.
But Stanford's got the really good freshman.
Zaire Williams. He's very good. And so what I wanted to do is I needed to see them play a third time. I needed to watch them play, and at least against stout, a ranked competition in Texas. And Texas got a good coach. Shaka Smart, I feel like, has started to make Texas better. I thought he was a lot better at VCU, but the money and why would you not go coach at Texas? That's beside the point.
Remember, don't put over this ranking stuff because that really don't get over neither.
Okay,
if you're
Terry.
ranked.
Okay, Terry. That sounds good.
Well,
Okay.
Texas certainly.
He's just upset NC State's not ranked.
Texas certainly hit a lot of threes.
See, that's the problem.
First half.
That's the problem. North Carolina, it seems, what was it for years before Duke started getting all the one-and-done players that would do them in when North Carolina would play Duke? Duke would live and die by the three. North Carolina would beat them if Duke was off from the three, and we could just pound them inside. If Duke was on from the three, it's hard to keep up with them. And that has been an Achilles heel for Roy Williams and his coaching staff, is to somehow just teach these guys perimeter defense. And I feel like half the time, and what has really changed it is North Carolina is still very centric on their big men. But their big men are not, how would you say, today's big men that the NBA like. Stretch fours, stretch fives, can shoot the three. They're not. They're back to the basket guys. And so what Texas was really doing, there was this one kid, I think he was a power forward for him. He was a stretch four. Well, you're trying to ask Garrison Brooks and Baycott and whoever the other big guy is that comes in, Sharp, and this 7'1" guy to try and play on the perimeter. They don't want to do that. They've not been taught that. Your bigs coach is Sean May. That's all he did was play in the paint, even when he was in the pros. So he's not even with today's big man game where they have the stretch fours and fives. So I feel like that's always been a problem, and it's still a problem this year. They can't defend the three-point line. The other problem I have watching North Carolina is the guard play is nowhere near at least what it was last year when Cole Anthony was healthy and the year before when Kobe White was there. It's not. Those guys could go out there and get you 20, 30 on their own if they wanted to. These guards can't. I've heard so much praise about Caleb Love and R.J. Davis. I've watched them in 3 games. They ain't impressed me a lick. As a matter of fact, from the shooting guard position, I should never see you go 1 from 2 on a free throw attempt.
Hunter, it's 3 games. 3 games.
Tom, sometimes that's all you need to see.
Hunter, it's 3 games in a year where you really couldn't have the off-season practices.
Tom, do you know who we play next?
Actually, I looked it up and I forgot.
It's Iowa. We're going to get beat by 40.
Big Ten Challenge, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to get beat by 40.
No, not necessarily. You're not going to get beat by 40.
I've seen this story before last year. I've seen it before. Leaky Black still looks like he's lost every time he touches a basketball on the court, like he did last year. If it's not through Garrison Brooks, then we have no offense. And this is what I mean by when I'm having trouble embracing what Roy Williams is doing at least the past 4 or 5 years with recruiting. It really helped with Kobe White and Cole Anthony that they could come into this game and could create their own shot, and that whether it was off the dribble to get a 3-point shot or off the dribble to get to the basket. I'm watching these guards, and this offense is so stagnant at times. They just stand there. They get the ball, and it's like they don't know where to go with it. And so you see these teams, and they're just producing players that can get to the rim on their own. They can create their own shot. And North Carolina doesn't really have that. They're still, and it doesn't help that you don't have that because your half-court offense is not great. North Carolina for years has always been known, don't let them run. Don't let them run. Don't let them get the boards and kick out and go. That's how they get ahead of you because they just get the boards and kick out and run, and they'll just run you to death. Well, if we're not running, our half-court offense is so stale. I don't know, and people will say you're crazy for wanting Roy Williams' job. Listen, guys, North Carolina is a prestigious, and it is a prestigious job in college basketball. You wouldn't have very much trouble pulling in a high IQ coach. Sometimes you do need a change. Yeah. That's just how it goes.
I don't know, Terry. I watched the highlights of that game. I didn't think it was that bad. I think their perimeter defense.
No, it was
bad.
Right.
You're right.
It was bad.
The perimeter defense. They beat a pretty good Stanford team, not ranked, down to the wire with Texas. And Hunter acts like they got blown up by 40 both games.
Tom, I told you what kept them close. They were in the double bonus, and they couldn't even hit free throws.
I didn't think Davis and Brooks and some of I didn't think they played that bad. I mean, I think that they got behind. They let Texas hit a lot of threes. So I think that's the best point you made is definitely the perimeter defense because they were down, about 14 or 16 in the first half, and they got behind, and they did briefly take the lead back.
They only led twice in that ball game.
Yeah, they took it back late in the game. So, I mean, I don't think the sky is quite falling for Carolina.
No, it's over.
I mean, I don't think it's. I don't think it is. Let's see how they do against Iowa. Let's see how they do.
That's a 30-point blowout.
This guy sounds like a Browns fan.
He sounds like Terry. He sounds like negative Tom over here. Negative Nancy's.
The only thing that I questioned, and this was the weeks, either a couple of weeks ago or something, maybe when Hunter wasn't here, but I questioned Carolina's backcourt. I don't think they're that much better than they were last year.
I don't think they're
I'm serious. When they're going to have to come up against some of the finest guards in the ACC, they're going to struggle. They are very going to struggle because I don't think Love and I don't think they can play defense like you're going to have to play.
For R.J. Davis to be as highly as high as a recruit as he was from the shooting guard position, to me, he's undersized. I think he might be 6'2",
but
6'3".
Your two big men, Brooks and Baycott, are pretty good.
I thought they did a good job
underneath,
getting rebounds, getting after it. I was impressed.
That's where
they're
going to be in a lot of games from offensive rebounds.
I can agree with that. Is that North Carolina for years, if they've beat you on the offensive boards, what has it been? It's been the big men, and they've been a really big part of what helps us win. So you usually have that one good point guard who can get it into your one or two good big men. That's exactly what it is.
But now, if you go
right
back,
now, even in today's, I'm not talking about the 09 team that won it. I'm not, or with Tyler Hansborough and the big guys that were really down there. With 2005 team in today's basketball, the reason why we won it that year in 2017 is because we had Joel Berry. He could shoot. We had another. I can't remember the shooting guard that we had. He could shoot. I mean, we had shooters, and in today's game, you know this NBA, college basketball wise, you got to be able to shoot the three.
But Carolina's basic is underneath. There always has been. They've always had big people underneath.
But that's what I have.
Keep you in every game.
That's what I have a problem with, though. It's not the fact that we have good big men. It's that it doesn't seem like, except for the 2017 exception where we had shooters. We had Cam Johnson, who had obviously come over. That was one of his years, and then he went on to play the next year. We just don't have what college basketball has today, which is the consistent three-point shooting, which is what wins you ball games. It is, and that's what it does in the NBA, too. One of the better three-point teams outside of really this year usually wins the championship. You got to at least be able to shoot consistently. I was watching a North Carolina game. Your guards are like 2 for 10 from the three-point line. I mean, you can't do that. You can't shoot 20% from the three and hope to win against a team that's on fire. Because that's what Tom, you're 100% correct. North Carolina's perimeter defense was horrible, so Texas could just light them up. But Texas, if Texas really wanted to, they could have crowded that whole lane and dared North Carolina to shoot the three because they were that bad.
Think about what you're saying. They played that poorly in all aspects of the game. They played just poorly perimeter defense. They shot the ball poorly. They did not move enough on, and they still only lost by 2 to a ranked
team. Wait a minute. Now, Tom, you got to go back in game one. In game
they
one,
won by a couple points.
Well, they ended up winning by 19 or something like that.
Charleston.
College of Charleston. But that game was close. Carolina went on a run in the second half to put that game away.
Well, you just answered your own question. They went on a run and put the game away.
Tom, it's an eye thing. I don't care that they only lost by 2. It's what I saw with my eyes, and I wasn't impressed. The fact that you had to you were in the double bonus with almost 6 minutes left, and Texas hadn't went to the line the whole second half.
Yeah, I mean,
we've sat here and talked about how referees can keep you in games. They kept North Carolina in that game by just putting them at the free throw line.
Maybe Texas is fouling because North Carolina's putting more pressure on them, and they were having a hard time defending. Yeah. That's another way to look at it.
So, Hunter, if I ask you about soccer, and what you just said a lot is right, okay? But there's a few technicalities that you'll miss that I'd miss if we were talking soccer. So the North Carolina offense is the secondary break. And what that means is that everything is already called for, whether it's a make or miss. It's the same offense, same play. You just have kind of options, kind of like the triangle has, certain options. So what they do is that whole offense is designed to feed the ball in the post, is to get 2 pointers. That's Dean Smith's offense. That's Roy Williams.
I realize.
That's where what I'm saying is that's where he hasn't changed and adapted any.
And that's what my problem is.
About. Right.
So
there's a bridge
even bringing
there.
on Hubert Davis and bringing in Kendall Marshall and all these ex players, but you have have specialties that they can teach your players. But you haven't changed your offense. It's just the same offense you've been running for the last 15 years.
So
or more.
One slight problem you do have with that. Let's say you're a guard, a big time recruit, right? And you could say, well, you can go to Duke, you might get to shoot 10 threes. You go to Carolina, on a big night, you'll shoot 5, average 2 or 3. So it's hard to get. Look who Roy hasn't got in the last few years. He hasn't got the number 1 picks with top 5 draft picks. So it's hard to get the snipers as opposed to who's going to go to Gonzaga or somewhere else that just like, hey, we're going to shoot the ball every time. Why would you go to Carolina? So Carolina, what do? They always have a good point guard, and they got a couple of 6'9" power forwards that run the floor, fill the lane, and get rebounds. So that's what the offense is designed to do, Hunter. And if you're waiting on that to change during the year, you're waiting on Roy Williams to call a timeout.
That's what I'm saying. That's why to me, this we might have just another losing season, it's because we're getting left behind with what the offense has become in college basketball. We really are. With Roy Williams not adapting. It can win you games against bad teams.
Works, if you get studs, it still works.
Well, as Armando Bacon and Garrison Brooks, they're not studs.
Right. I'm looking at Carolina, and I figure if the game's on the line, who do you go to? Who takes that final shot?
Exactly.
If you cannot feed Brooks or Bacon in the middle, who's going to take that shot from outside? When I look at North Carolina State, I can tell you it's going to be Devin Daniels or it's going to be the freshman Hayes, because them two guys can play and they can come off the dribble. They can stop and pop. And Hayes, I love this kid. And some people, when you just got to see him play, the little 5-10 foot jumpers that used to be around when people hit, this kid hits them consistently. He does not miss. And I love that, because when I sit back and I see him, that's just like when Warren arrived with Leslie and all them there. I always said then Warren was the best player coming out of that group, and he has been in the NBA and in college he was. And this Hayes kid is the same way. This kid can do anything, and I'm going to say watch him throughout the year for North Carolina State. But Carolina, I keep saying, who's the guy you're going to go to if the game's on the line?
Terry, you speaking the same exact thing that I saw.
Did you hear that in there?
It's just one of those things where
yeah, I heard that.
We had the game, the basket to take us ahead against Stanford was Leaky Black. Come on now, he ain't taking the last shot for us at all. To be honest, I don't even want him on the floor. I don't.
I have a lot of kinds like that. We got Helms at North Carolina State, and I know what's happening. Once he touches the ball, forget it, he's shooting.
Caleb Love, Love to me can hit the mid-range shot just in today's college basketball and NBA. And trust me, I like down low scoring twos as much as anybody. I wish the old game would come back. But in today's game, it just doesn't. Duke, Virginia, that's why they've been winning. And Florida State now on the rise. Why? They get your 3-point shooters. Yeah. That's exactly
all right,
what
each
it
of you,
is.
real quick, give me one team that makes the Final Four. Hunter.
Baylor. I think Baylor's the best team in the country.
Oh, well, mine's easy. It's Gonzaga.
State.
Easy.
All right.
Well, they took mine. I'm going to go with Iowa. Iowa makes the
Iowa.
Probably.
All right, JP, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have, folks, if you're listening, the next part will not be live, but you'll hear us. We're going to have bad picks from the last 2 weeks. And we're going to take a quick break. I got to check some sound. We're going to come back with bad picks, and then we're going to try to make some good picks in just a little bit on KTC Broadcasting.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could go look at a new car or truck and you didn't have to worry about getting caught up in those games that waste half your day? Well, Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City is different because we're fast, easy, and transparent. We have over 300 new and used vehicles on the ground with clear choice pricing and the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and a free lifetime warranty on every new car. You better believe Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram is different, and you can find us in Forest City.
Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. for our Sunday morning worship services. On WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 FM, it's the Sunday morning service of First Baptist Church in Cherryville. On WLON 1050 AM and 107.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Covenant Bible Church in Lincoln. And on WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Calvary Baptist Church of Shelby. Join us each and every Sunday morning for our Sunday morning worship services on The Boss and Carolina Country. Magic, simplicity, and excited anticipation. That's the feeling of Christmas that's in the air. We wish that you experience all of this Christmas season. Experience with childlike wonder. Remember the simple things that mean the most. We bring you joy and peace. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. From everyone at Triad Corrugated Metal Incorporated, 108 Industrial Park in Lincoln. Online at triadmetalroof.com. Like them on Facebook too. The Cherryville Country Club remains open for dinner on Friday nights and for Sunday lunch. Call your order in at 704-435-6597. Take it home and enjoy a great dinner or lunch. You can pick it up under the big black awning at the front. And it's time to get out and play golf too. The weekly Captain's Choice Golf Tournament starts every Friday night at 5:30 p.m. Just call the Pro Shop to sign up at 704-435-6597. The Cherryville Country Club on the Roy Acre Road in Cherryville.
Take advantage of a special offer on the versatile Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor. Switching attachments is simple, and a smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation. The Kubota BX Series, the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. You own the land. Now, make it yours. Get the Kubota BX 2380 for payments as low as $99 a month.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive, off Highway 74 at Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain.
Don't wear yourself out splitting wood. Do it the easy way. Rent a log splitter from Southern Equipment Rentals in Shelby. They have log splitters to make your job a whole lot easier. Why buy that new piece of equipment when you can rent it and save money? From lawnmowers to cement mixers to a big skid steer, they've got it all at Southern Equipment Rental, 1740 Falston Road, Highway 18 North in Shelby. Online at screntals.com. Call 704-406-9292 and like them on Facebook.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Kevin is...
JP, you got me in there?
Yeah, I got you in here.
All right, we're going to go to our segment called Bad Picks Going Wrong. This is the last 2 weeks, and we're going to try to keep our mics up, and because we may laugh or something at some of these, and the proclamations more than anything. Hey, there are some good picks on here. Special appearances by my kids, and maybe even the Ultimate Warrior if we're lucky. So we'll be back and listen to our bad picks the last 2 weeks. So the only sports show, folks, that admits their wrongdoing.
Bad picks.
That's what it
After
is.
today when Indiana wins.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
We're
Are
not
you
gonna
picking
say
Indiana? Are you
I
picking
haven't said
Indiana?
anything.
Are you picking Indiana? Are you
Terry.
picking Indiana?
We're
You
gonna
said
cut a lot
after
of
today when
videos.
Indiana
I
wins.
have not
Say
said a
it.
word.
Are you picking Indiana? He won't
Tom,
say it. He
We're
won't
sitting here.
say
We
it.
hadn't even got to pick
Your Honor, the
Every
witness is
time
not
I put a
answering the
different
question.
sport on this damn
We
screen, y'all start talking about the other one.
Ohio State wins 42-35 over Indiana. Bad pick.
Who do you got? Mountaineers or chickens?
One question I have. What sport am I?
It just depends. It doesn't matter.
No, is it basketball, football?
We're talking football.
Football, okay. Yeah. Well, I know most of the people that went to apps, so I'm going with that.
But please tell me, Terry, you're not taking that State.
Oh, yeah, they'll beat them. Hey, it's a step up for
Coastal Carolina.
I mean, I won't.
Coastal Carolina boogie boards their way.
Yeah.
Next week, I want to know if I got any right whatsoever.
Don't worry, we'll let you know.
We'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll let you know. You got a chance. You're gonna get at least one.
Coastal wins 34-23 over Appalachian. Bad picks.
Red Wolves.
So he goes with Arkansas State, Terry. Florida International for JP.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Alabama.
Alabama. He picked JP picks North Alabama at Brigham Young University. Middle
Yes.
Tennessee at Troy.
Troy.
Bad picks.
All
So
right.
who'd you pick?
I picked Wisconsin.
Okay, I was making sure. Good pick, Tom. Good pick. I thought you was going to go
He's
off.
pre-grading your picks
Yeah.
before the results have even come in.
Is that a
Good
Burns Eagles? Where'd you get that at?
You did well, Tom. We ain't worried about my hat right now.
Where'd
We're
you
worried
get that?
about picks.
How come I'm
Northwestern wins 17-7 over Wisconsin.
I can't
So who'd
stay
you
up
pick?
with Cal.
You sure?
Cali. Never picked California to win a football game.
Oregon State wins 31-27 over California.
I like Oklahoma at home.
All right.
Bad pick, Tom.
Oklahoma wins 41-13 over Oklahoma State.
You know, Illinois will surprise you every now and then. Like last year, they beat Wisconsin, but I picked them and they embarrassed me. They lost like 49-7 or something when I picked them. So I'm going with Nebraska.
Illinois wins 41-23 over Nebraska.
All right, Terry. I want you to say that again out loud.
North Carolina State wins by 10.
Over Liberty, right?
Yes.
Over
Tonight.
Liberty. Tonight, 7:30.
Welcome to Raleigh. Have a great trip home.
Tom?
I don't know. I just like to think that Liberty's luck is going to run out. But NC State just doesn't play any defense, Terry. I mean, Miami
don't play no defense. We've lost to 3 ranked teams, Tom.
They don't play any defense. I'm going with Liberty. They're gonna
mark that down.
They're gonna hit.
Write that down.
They're gonna hit State so hard they're gonna turn them into liberals.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
NC State wins 15-14 over Liberty.
This is a tough one. Who's the home team?
The Cyclones.
They're probably favored
by 12.
Yeah. He just got.
He didn't listen to any of that.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. Sorry, Mr. Hastings. I'm going with that. Even though Kansas State will play well.
I hope you missed that one just so I can cut all that right there. The phone going off. I'm not paying attention.
I'm sorry the phone distracted me for a moment. At least I admit it.
Iowa State wins 45-0 over Kansas State. Bad picks.
I would take Penn State if it was at Penn State, but it's at Michigan, so I would take Michigan.
Penn State wins 27-17 over Michigan.
We'll just do this one because it's a local one. Actually, no, because it's probably going to be a blowout. Tom, do you want to pick SMU at East Carolina? Okay, well then we won't.
ECU wins 52-38 over SMU.
I don't know. I feel like this could almost be a trap game for Northwestern because they're on such a high right now.
Northwestern wins.
Yeah.
I'm not
not picking
Michigan State. I don't know. Sometimes they play decent, then next week they play bad. But a win over Michigan. I mean, who is Michigan now?
If you look, I can agree with that.
Michigan State wins 29-20 over Northwestern.
I'm gonna go against you there and just take Arizona I just
UCLA wins 27-10 over Arizona.
I'm picking the Raiders. Is it my pick or Terry's?
It is yours.
Yours. You took it.
Well, I'm picking the Raiders, although I will be pulling. I hope this pick is on bad picks because I need the Raiders to lose.
Atlanta Falcons win 43-6 over the Las Vegas Raiders.
Indianapolis Colts. Philip Rivers doing what he is told to do when he comes.
Terry, you're going to hate hearing me say this. Actually, no, you're going to love it. I love that pick.
He's hurt.
I love that pick.
Tennessee Titans win 45-26 over the Indianapolis Colts.
Bad picks.
Give me the Panthers.
And
Minnesota Vikings win 28-27 over the Carolina Panthers.
I don't know. New England. I'm going to take New England.
You'll regret that.
I will. Every time I pick.
I'm taking Arizona.
The New England Patriots won 20-17 over the Arizona Cardinals.
49ers and the Rams. And I like the Rams.
Yeah,
they looked good last week. I watched them a little bit too. They look pretty good.
San Francisco 49ers win 23-20 over the Los Angeles Rams.
Some minds in this
Tom,
game.
that's not a good pick. Oh, I'm sorry.
I haven't made the pick yet. Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Not a good pick.
But I like it when you say that because every time you say that, it's actually a good pick. So Mississippi State. You got Leach versus
Mississippi
Kiffin.
State is not favored. Ole Miss is favored by 9.5.
I like Mississippi State.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Put that on the picks.
And that is the picks.
Mississippi wins 31-24 over Mississippi State.
Those are some bad picks.
We made a lot of good ones too.
Yeah, we did.
So how have we done the past couple weeks, Terry, or how have you guys done the past couple weeks?
I told y'all I would probably not get any of them right. I didn't get any of them right.
Well, you got a couple. Those are the bad picks, JP. So we don't put those.
Most
on
of them
there.
were bad.
Right, you were.
Hey,
the only reason I chose
you gotta take it off the chest.
I understand that. The only
They were
reason
bad.
I picked the ones I picked is I liked the name. That's the only reason.
That's the only thing we assumed. So
Well, JP, have you ever seen when March Madness comes around? Sometimes people let their kids fill out brackets, and they do it by mascots,
and they do better.
And sometimes they do better.
Yeah.
It's
or
crazy.
The colors.
Yeah, or colors.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's like that. It's like that playoff game with football. I was like, what, 2 points off? What they literally said. I was like,
I don't know. There was one. I can't remember which Super Bowl run it was, but you were hitting every single one of them, and it was kind of making me mad.
It's like, how the hell does that happen?
Well, Hunter, NCAA football.
Yes.
Yeah, let you kind of guys get into that right now. Number one in the playoff rankings, Alabama, Notre Dame 2, Clemson 3, Ohio State 4, Texas A&M 5, Florida 6, Cincinnati 7, Georgia 8, Iowa State 9, Miami 10 in the official. I guess are they called the BCS rankings? Is that what they're
the college football playoff
playoff rankings?
That's still considered AP and coaches poll, and they don't pay attention to that. It's the college football playoff ranking that most people pay attention to. It's I'm about sick and tired of committees. I don't know. I just feel like dumb people are in powerful spots, and I just don't see how.
I'm having a hard time understanding these rankings.
What rankings?
Which ones? This one?
Our rankings, because at 1 week Ohio State wasn't even ranked. Now they all the way up to 3rd.
Right. This isn't hard. Like that. This is
how does that happen?
Easy math.
Terry,
easy math. Terry.
Is Ohio or are they
about
not?
Them not playing enough games now.
And that's it. You're right.
Yeah,
you're
they
right.
saying
Tom,
if they don't
you got to
play
worry
enough
about
games,
that.
yeah,
too.
that's the
Now,
first
you
thing
do.
they said.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that.
But Terry,
yeah, but they said you're not going to be considered for that top 4 if you don't have enough games.
But Terry, as of right now,
no, they didn't say that.
Yes, they did.
Is Ohio State
Terry,
ranked
they didn't
the top team in the Big Ten right now?
Well, they are the best. They're the only one in there.
Well,
Everybody
then you
else
got to
is
remember.
terrible.
You got to remember. This is who we think will win the SEC. This is who we think will win the ACC.
We don't think anything. That's who's in first place.
Okay,
right
this
now.
is who's in first place in the Power Fives: Alabama,
There's
Notre
the
Dame,
only
Ohio
college
State,
football poll with no thinking.
Big 12, and Pac-12. Like it's just qualifiers.
But lots of thinking.
Ohio State a few weeks ago was second. So
let me clarify the misinformation that's being spread by my esteemed colleague that the college football playoff committee, the selection committee, has not said arbitrarily that the number of games determines whether you get in or not. They have
But
not
it should.
said that. Now, could it possibly influence? Yes.
But it should.
Is there an arbitrary number? You must play X number of games to get in.
And it should be.
It should.
But it doesn't matter what should be, Terry.
If
It's
I
what
play
is
5
and what is
games,
not. You're
I
on here
should
saying,
not be considered to be
you-
in
you-
that top 4.
You could say that, but I'm just telling you what the committee is basing their decision off of. It is not arbitrarily.
I
You must
will
play
give
6
Coastal
games.
Carolina and them a lot of credit, and BYU accepting it, because they went out here and they threw it out. Look, we can't play Liberty. Somebody come play us. BYU jumped at it. Coastal said, yes, come on. It's good for both of us. So that's why you do it. Ohio State, if you don't want to play, call somebody. Get somebody to come play.
We had the COVID issues. We can't
won't
say,
call
oh, we
nobody."
got COVID issues. Come play us and infect your whole state.
It's
or
not
your
just
community.
that, Terry.
I don't mind.
BYU can do this because they're an independent.
Yeah,
That's
the
right.
Big
They can do
Ten
whatever they want.
is an ACC, and all the
They
larger
told them they couldn't
conferences.
play
They
non-conference.
said you're not playing non-conference
Right.
games. The only one that could was, I think, the Big 12 and the ACC. They could play one non-conference. Not even the SEC could play their little cupcake games they always
Well,
want.
my whole deal is if Ohio State only has 5 or 6 games they play all year,
They're probably
boop,
not.
you're not even in it.
But it's not up to you, Terry.
All right.
It's not up to you.
If
You
they
better
get
be
in,
glad.
if they get
It's
in
not
with
up
only
to you.
if they get in with only 6 games played over like a 10 or 11
Yeah,
win
that's
Cincinnati
pretty
or
close.
BYU,
It's gonna cause some
I'm going to be very
Yeah,
upset.
me too.
For our
I'll say
listeners,
it
Well, we'd
every
hate
day.
for you two
for
to
our
be
listeners
upset,
on the
but just be
radio right
honest.
now, we are live on YouTube. We do the show live and replays on YouTube. And right now we have posted mine and Hunter's proposed college football playoff system. This intakes no opinions. It's either your first, your second, or you ain't in it, Hunter. So the top 5 seeds go to the first place teams in the power conferences. The next 5 seeds go to the second place teams in the Power 5. 11 through 15 go to the group of 5, and then 16 is a wild card to an independent or anyone else. Kind of what we haven't really decided on that Hunter likes the independent.
I do
That's
like the
BYU
independent.
right now. So looking at that, if by our playoff rankings, here's how the playoffs would go. Number 1, Alabama would host 16 seed BYU. Now, folks, remember when I said these seeds, these are seeds you earn, not where you're ranked by opinion. So BYU would be at Alabama in round 1. The winner of that game would play Northwestern at Oklahoma, 9 versus 8, Northwestern at Oklahoma. On that same side of the bracket, Iowa State, the champion of the the Big 12, would be the 4 seed right now, hosting Marshall at the 13 seed. Then the Pac-12 champion USC would be hosting those Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. And then the winners of those would match up. On the other side of the brackets, number 2, Notre Dame would be hosting the Buffalo Bulls right now. And the winner of that game would face off against the Florida Gators in the 7 seed against the Washington Huskies, who've made an appearance in the poll this week at the 10 spot. On the other side, bottom side of that bracket, Ohio State jumps up into the 3 spot after Northwestern got beat, so they get the higher seed there. Northwestern's still number 1 on their side of the bracket, so they're still in the playoffs in the 2. Boise State, number 1 in their conference, they get the 14 seed. 11 seed Cincinnati at number 6 Clemson. So Ohio State would open up at home against Boise State. Clemson at home against the Cincinnati Bearcats. And if Hunter and I were in charge of the college football playoffs.
And nobody could consider this, but that bracket right there would be the toughest out of all them other 3.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong.
The right side.
Wait a minute.
Boise State, Ohio State, Cincinnati, and Clemson.
I might be wrong about something. Texas A&M is 5th in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Did Texas A&M play Florida?
Yeah.
Who won?
Texas A&M.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How is Florida in this poll? And
Texas A&M is second in their division in the conference. They're behind Alabama. They wouldn't make conference championship. Florida would make the conference championship.
Yep.
Well, I just think it's kind of dumb that Florida is not going to be a conference champion, lost to Texas A&M, but somehow
they could be
ahead.
the conference champion. They get to play Alabama.
They play Alabama.
In the conference championship game.
If they beat Alabama, guess what,
This
Tom?
is to keep
They're
third
conference champion.
This keeps third place teams out.
Which, if Florida goes and plays Alabama in the championship game and gets beat and has 2 losses, and Texas A&M has 1 loss and beat Florida, you're still putting Florida in this playoff.
Right, because you didn't earn it.
That's the craziest.
Tom, it is not up to us for the SEC to get their stuff figured out.
Tom,
everyone else figures it out.
Where's the liquor cabinet in
Tom,
this radio station?
There's
a liquor cabinet somewhere in this radio
You're
station.
the only person in the world I know that want to put the third place team in over the
Tom,
second place
if the
team.
conferences wanted it to be how you are,
to head.
Listen. Forget head-to-head when it's conference-wise. I mean, listen,
all right, so
you want to fix the problem, Tom? Then tell conferences
so
they don't have 2 different divisions in one conference, and you just do
so
straight
basically,
up.
let me
Terry,
put
he's
this.
saying the 89 Cowboys should have been in the playoffs because he beat the Redskins that year.
All right, I'm going to put it like this.
Head-to-head.
So if we
They
do
have
something
the best
out
record,
there,
you go head-to-head if they have identical record.
the 2 teams finish right now, both of them are 7-3, but one team has lost to 3 ranked teams. The other team has lost to 1 ranked team. Then who should get the upper hand there as the better team?
Appalachian State.
If you had that scenario thrown in front of you.
I noticed we've been curiously quiet about
Then
that Appalachian
it would
State
not.
game.
Did you see that mess last night? We're about to get to that in a minute.
Then it would not throw out, what the names are. It would throw out who's lost to who. Well, I'd take this team over here who's lost to 3 ranked teams ahead of that team who's only lost to 1. Because the other 2 losses they have come against a Florida State and a Virginia.
Terry's talking about should North Carolina be ranked ahead of Appalachian or NC State?
A State. That's what I'm saying.
No,
because even
Terry,
though head-to-head, as y'all keep saying, Carolina would have to get the upper hand because they beat State to death.
But you also,
but if you put them out there as
7-3,
7-3, State should be the better
now,
team.
Terry, that came out of left field because we're talking about the top 16.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. But I'm saying you're talking about head-to-head or not head-to-head. I mean, if you didn't have a name up there in front of them, you would go with North Carolina State.
Don't take. Well, how the conferences are set up, really, the head-to-head it doesn't really matter because. Listen, Tom, it's just the truth.
I'm listening. I listen to you,
as
Hunter.
of this year, Florida and Texas A&M were forced to play each other because they had to play an all-SEC schedule. But usually they don't play each other because they only play teams in the West, maybe 1 or 2 games against someone in the East, or Florida's playing only everybody in the East or 1 or 2 games against the West.
That's just
Texas
how it
A&M
works.
don't play Alabama, do they?
No, that's who they lost to. A&M lost to
that's
Alabama.
their only loss.
Mm-hmm. They lost to Alabama.
What I don't understand is we have two teams with identical records. We have a head-to-head game. Somehow the other team's still in.
Yeah, but there's two
I don't
divisions.
understand it. I don't care. I don't care. They have identical.
Tom, well, you
records.
cannot change that.
They
Is
have
Texas
identical
records. Is A&M first in their division?
I've already heard the explanation.
No,
if you have
the
two
explanation.
teams,
In
neither
2000
one's a champion.
Tom,
They have identical records.
In
You go head-to-head.
2004, when LeBron shamed America, okay, and lost in the Olympics, I'm going to explain how what you just asked works. They beat the second place team head to head, but they didn't make the championship game, so they therefore did not get the silver medal. They won the bronze medal because the team that beat them won the championship.
That's
so therefore,
tournament style. This
no,
is
that's
not,
the exact same thing. But
no.
Therefore, if you can't make it the championship, you can't be
Tom,
first or
this
second.
is not hard to figure out.
If you don't make
got
championship, you don't get gold
Alabama
or silver.
number one, Texas A&M is number two in their side of the division. We didn't do that. SEC did that.
Yeah.
So
We just lost what
Florida
the
is in
SEC is
first
doing.
in their division,
In
no
this
matter
case,
what.
All right, let's
play.
pick some games.
Neither team is a champion. You go head to head. Let's get some picks because we're gonna roll the clip for next week. Terry's gonna be the star of the show.
All right, here we go. Hunter, number 4, Ohio State, favored by 24 at Michigan State.
Brian Day's not coaching this week, is he?
He is not.
I'll still take Ohio State. I'll still take Ohio State.
All right, Terry, Texas A&M, number 5 at Auburn Tigers. A&M favored by 5.5.
Texas A&M.
Auburn got trounced.
All right,
They did.
Tom, you've had trouble with the Cowboys, I think, if I'm correct. Oklahoma State, number 15 at TCU Horny Frogs. Cowboys only favored by 2 in Fort Worth.
Is their quarterback yet back yet? He got
Oklahoma
hurt.
State, I have no idea. TCU's always a hard out at TCU.
He is, but I've got faith in Van
Oh
Gundy.
God,
He's
here
gonna-
you go
I mean,
with this
Van
long
Gundy,
talk.
excuse me,
You're gonna
Gundy.
lose.
I've
Tom.
got faith. I got faith in Gundy.
You believe in
He's
the
gonna-
mullet.
He's believe in the mullet. I do. They go there. They have to get a win. They're going to get a win today.
Bad pick, Tom. Bad pick.
Terry,
How many losses does that say Oklahoma State says? 2?
I got to see if they're.
The
6 and 2.
I've already
right.
made the pick.
Terry,
I wanna see
Western
the
Carolina
quarterbacks.
at North Carolina.
Well, I'll take this one. Carolina wins by a ton.
The Wildcats.
North
No,
Carolina. There's
North
not even a spread on
Carolina.
this. I don't blame
Yeah,
you.
I do not blame you. It's whatever Carolina wants to score here.
Hunter Rice at the Marshall Thundering Herd. Herd favored by 22 in West Virginia.
My God, and they cover.
And they, my God,
Marshall, and they
That-
cover.
We're going to cut that one too.
Marshall, and they cover.
If
22.
If it's a close game, I'm cutting that one because you said, "My God, they cover."
My God, they cover.
All right. Speaking of almost winning,
Oh, wow.
Terry, explain NC State to me. Liberty, Syracuse,
Was a W
Tar
so out to the
Heels,
side of them?
Virginia Tech.
W.
What in the
W.
world? You're bragging about your team's only lost 3 games to ranked teams, just like the Appalachian State Mountaineers are this year, who's only lost to ranked teams this year. 2 of them undefeated, combined 25-1. With the wildness of last night, we'll talk about in a second. Syracuse at Notre Dame, Terry. Notre Dame favored by 34.
They'll cover.
This is
Here you go, Tom. Here's your Florida Gators.
Are
Who are
in
they
Knoxville.
this Kyle Trask.
Tennessee has lost 5 in a row. They're getting ready to fire their coach.
Does
again.
Rocky Top cover down 17.5?
No, they don't.
Kyle Trask hits the magic 40 mark this week.
I'm just telling you. And Pitts is back too. And Pitts,
He's an animal.
He's an animal.
Kyle Pitts, he's
really
an animal.
good.
God,
So
he's huge too.
I've got to go.
I want him in Washington.
Hunter,
he's
Iowa
good.
State is hosting West Virginia, favored by 6.5.
I like their running back, Brees Hall at Iowa State. Their head coach at Iowa State is getting a lot of NFL buzz. I don't know why. I mean, they're having a great year. But before this season, I mean, Iowa State was just kind of another team in the Big 12. But he's getting a lot of buzz. I'm going to take Iowa State.
All right, Terry. Big game in the Big Ten today. One of them might have to replace Ohio State when they don't make it.
Wisconsin
enough
has
games.
more canceled and postponed games than games they've played.
Charlotte is the king of that. I believe.
Yes, true.
Wisconsin is ranked 16th by the voters. They're favored by 13.5 over at home by 12. So the gamblers or the voters, who's right, Terry? Wisconsin or Indiana?
Indiana go there and win. Indiana's going to make Ohio State feel good if after they pick up this win at Wisconsin.
You do realize Penix is hurt.
He's got a torn ACL.
Okay, so
they're starting quarterback out at Indiana.
I do not care. Their defense is what leads them.
Ohio State put 40. Okay, yep, there you go, Terry.
That's Ohio State.
All right.
You always know when Ohio State plays, you're going to score a bunch of points.
Tommy, Iowa, favored by 13.5 at the Fighting Illini. A lot of eyes for the announcers.
How do I always get the Illinois game? I've got the Illinois game wrong every time. So it's Iowa.
You should have it down by now.
Are they going to Illinois?
Yes, but they're favored by 13.5.
Champaign.
It is 27 degrees in Champaign.
They've sort of righted the ship, too. Iowa's been playing good ball, and Ferentz, their coach, love that guy. He's been around for a long time. I'm going with Iowa.
That'd be bad if Illinois wins this week. I feel bad for Tom.
I've got the Illinois game wrong every time.
They hate you.
And I like
Champaign.
Lovey. I think Lovey does a good job at
I like Lovey.
I think he does a good
Number
job.
24, Tulsa, favored by 12 in Maryland, in Annapolis against the Navy midshipmen.
Navy's always tough because you're never ready for that offense.
They're not as good.
But no, I'm not taking Navy this year though.
Should we feel confident in our armed forces the way our armed forces football teams consistently take drubbings?
Unless you're Army
Our regular
plays
guys
pretty
are
good.
whipping our Marines' butts on the football
But
field.
remember, when we send our troops into combat, they do have weapons. So
They're not just hitting with helmets.
As you play football with grenades. Stanford at number 22, Washington. Washington favored by 11.5 in Seattle, Terry.
Yeah, Washington, easy.
Guys, I don't know if Coastal Carolina should have agreed to this game.
All right, Hunter. BYU at Coastal. BYU favored by 11. We're going to let everybody pick this. Everybody had a comment on the text this week. So across the board, BYU favored by 11 at Coastal. The Mormons are coming across country.
That'd be the only thing that's tough.
This might set the record, guys. Tickets as low as $9,499. Who would have ever thought? What would y'all have done if I'd have said in March, guys, this December, you could buy a ticket for a BYU Coastal game for $9,000?
There's a lot of money down in Myrtle Beach. a lot of people down in Myrtle Beach, they got that kind of money. There's a lot of money down
Nice
there. They
day
can
to
afford
play
it.
down there today.
Yeah, they can afford it.
Yeah.
I think BYU wins. They've got the biggest points margin in America.
I've already said the chickens are getting plucked today.
And see, I hate that because Coastal had such a high percentage before the schedule got changed to win out. It was like 30-something% to go undefeated, which I would have loved to have seen. But now, sorry, y'all decided to pick this game up. All right.
It is. I ain't gonna say dumb. I think it's not smart on both of them's part.
Well, yeah, they're both putting themselves at risk, especially BYU.
Like, if you've already scheduled it, fine. But like at this point, you know that the rankings aren't going to come out on your side anyway. I think BYU's trying to get a bump, is what they're trying to do.
That's what they want.
But
everybody's saying you haven't played anybody all year.
But the real deal on it is that I don't think the voters give a crap about that. So the matchup predictor has 67% BYU, 33% Coastal, 9-0 versus 9-0.
I'm not sure it's even close.
Over under is 61.5. Points per game, BYU averages 47. The Chickens 39.
BYU's only given up, and Terry's other comment of the week, they have no defense. They're averaging 13.9
right
points allowed.
And
13.9, Terry.
And the Chickens are only giving up 16.8. Looking at the two teams, Hunter, who's played the better teams though? However,
Coastal Carolina has.
They've beat App and they've beat Louisiana.
Yeah, the Raging Cajuns.
The Raging Cajuns. Georgia Southern, Georgia State. BYU's last 5. North Alabama. They beat Boise State.
Careful.
They beat Western Carolina, Texas State, Houston, Terry, who do you got?
The Houston and the Boise State wins are good.
You're in the 33% group, Terry.
That's all right, Coastal. You're going to Coastal. You're not playing at BYU, y'all.
To me, this is how I would look at it. If I have to go which quarterback I have more faith in, I have more faith in Zach Wilson at BYU than Coastal. Now, I will say this. I'm picking BYU to win. I'm not going to be upset, though, if I'm wrong. If Coastal wins, congratulations. You're still having one hell of a year. That's exactly how I look at it.
They're not going to win.
The Coastal's already
I don't
beat,
think
like
they are.
Terry
What time
said,
is that game tonight?
5:30.
Oh, this is afternoon?
Good game.
Okay.
We had time to get down there and tailgate a little bit.
It's on ESPN.
Oh, that's right. There's no tailgating.
$9,000.
Wait. This
you don't need to go into the game to tailgate.
Well, there's probably going to be some
What
nice
kind of
party.
dummy is going to drive all the way down there, Tom, for daggum a tailgate
It's
to
Myrtle
set
Beach.
outside?
It's Myrtle Beach.
That's true.
You go down
Why
to
is
Myrtle
this
Beach. You
game
have
on
you have a good time. You
ESPNU?
tailgate.
The bad
What we
news
gonna
is it's
do,
30
tailgate
degrees
on the
right now in
beach?
Myrtle
Do
Beach.
what?
The bad news is it's 30 degrees right now in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Man, what are those people paying to live down there for? It's supposed to be warm down there. What's going on?
It says BYU at Coastal 30
So they got
degrees.
BYU weather at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. But they're coming off the mountain. You come off the mountain down to the beach, the Mormons may be distracted in Conway.
They may.
There
I'm telling you.
are some establishments that may not be in the Mormon community in Conway, Hunter.
Yeah, they may be in for a little culture shock in Horry County, South Carolina.
Exactly. Oregon are you taking Coastal? I forgot you did say that.
He took Coastal.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oregon, Tom, at California. We'll give you another chance here.
How do I keep coming back to Illinois?
Do you pick
and
California again?
California played well, got beat. Oregon got beat by Oregon State, which they should not have.
Oregon's favored by 9.
Yeah, I know, but and I watched last night. I actually watched the play from the Cal Stanford game again. I don't know how I got to watching that, and that should inspire me to pick California, but I'm not. Oregon's going to get it together and win this game. They're going to go down there and put the Bears in the bear trap.
Every time Tom says something like that, bet on the other team. Bears by 2. Hunter.
Or when he starts talking and it's a long conversation.
It gets long. We're doing metaphors. This is how you miss a pick, folks. Right?
No. I commend it. You got to be strong with it.
And then every time he says that,
I commend it.
the miss.
You got to be strong with it. But he took Oregon. I would have taken Oregon.
All right, Hunter. Does Clemson cover in Blacksburg? 22, they're favored over the Hokies.
Yeah, I think they cover 22.
All right, Terry.
How
what
much
a
is Dabo going to
disaster
cry?
this game is.
Yeah.
No, this game is a disaster.
This is
for Virginia Tech.
No, for LSU coming.
Oh, you're talking about
LSU.
Terry, does Alabama cover 29.5?
Yes,
in Baton Rouge.
Fun fact
LSU.
about the 29.5 point spread: largest spread against the defending national.
You know what
champion.
I did not realize? I knew LSU had a generational team.
Mm-hmm.
They lost 14 players to the draft.
Yeah, lost 22.
I mean, not just lost 14
stars.
players.
Mm-hmm.
They had 14 players get drafted.
Yeah, they lost over 20 players.
If that's not a record, I don't know what is. I mean, that's just
but
unbelievable.
You're paying for it this year.
Yeah, you are.
See, but that's what everybody talks about. Why Saban is so good. That never happens to Alabama, but it happens to a lot of other programs that they have that generational team, and then next year they're so-so, and it never happens at Alabama.
I'll take the national championship and go on with it and not worry about consistency. Take one.
It's hard to win it. It's hard to win it with this platform anyway. Same 3 get in every year.
Miami at Duke, Hunter.
Yeah.
Do the Blue Devils upset the Hurricanes?
This is in Durham. I don't think so. I think Miami is looking to at least have a double-digit win season, which would be nice for them.
All right, Tom. Baylor at Oklahoma, 22 of the Sooners favored by.
Yeah, Oklahoma's been, they took care of Oklahoma State, made me look good. I think they take care of Baylor again today.
And that is the last pick. Quick, last night, did any of you guys see the ridiculousness of
I didn't see the ridiculousness, but I saw
what happened in Boone last night.
I just want to go ahead and tell you, I'm leaving the station. I'm leaving Burns High School. I'm going to enroll at Louisiana and audition for the long snapper because I think I could do better than that kid. I felt sorry for the kid. I mean, but after the third or fourth time, there's got to be somebody else on that roster that can. I said, is this boy's daddy on the coaching staff or what's that?
The ball was wet.
Well, that wasn't a problem for Appalachian State.
Did they run shotgun plays?
But it wasn't the same kid.
I know. What I'm saying is that they could have put that kid in.
Oh, yeah.
And put the punter in at shotgun.
I mean,
and just snap, kick,
seriously,
and go.
I felt sorry for this kid, and I'm gonna tell you, they've got a good culture at Louisiana because they were very supportive of that kid. But after about the third time, I would have told the kid, "Hey, look, man,
just sit over here.
I'll
just
say
sit
this.
over here. I don't know. Did your girlfriend leave you? Something happened?
What I
bad
watched,
might have been something going on in his life.
What I watched last night was. One, both of these quarterbacks are not great. Louisiana does not have a great quarterback.
I'm glad you said that.
And Zach Thomas throwing those 2 picks. Listen,
Lewis,
I said last
the guy's
night.
30-5.
Hold on.
And he can run, too.
Hold on. Lewis was 8 of 23, 101. And with 1 touchdown. Thomas was 10 of 21 for 92 yards and 2 interceptions.
The weather's bad.
The wind's blowing. The ball is wet. You're never going to throw the same.
I said last night the quarterback play was bad. That's all I said.
Was that number 17? What was he, a defensive lineman or a linebacker? The one that intercepted the screen pass.
I don't know.
That was a great.
And Thomas has 6 losses now, Terry.
Yeah, he does. He's 30-6. Okay.
And what about your leading scorer in the history of the
and that's
Southern
not his
Conference?
Loss.
Missed a field
He
goal.
had 92 yards passing and 2 picks. How is that not his loss?
Nah, that's not his loss.
His defense only gave up 24.
He did everything he was supposed to do. He got you in field goal range with a chippy shot field goal.
And the leader of the history of the conference
missed it by a mile. Didn't even come close.
A good quarterback would have scored a touchdown. He was 10 of 21.
Oh, he put the ball right there where his receiver should have had
10 of 21,
it. He just
92
couldn't get
yards,
his
2
foot
picks.
in on the last one.
If a quarterback at Ohio State had 6 losses, he would have already been benched. So don't talk to me about how many losses he's got. He's not good. 10 of 21, 92
He makes a
yards.
good point, though.
They're running back.
They don't lose very often in Ohio State. So if he's got 6 losses,
you would have already benched Dwayne Haskins if he was 7-6.
Because think about it, even in 3 years, that means 2 losses. You're not making the playoffs. It's 2 losses a year.
They've got good running backs. The defense is so-so right
Well,
now.
Appalachian State,
talking about App now.
Appalachian State's strength has always been their run game. They've always had a very strong
The
run
freshman
game.
runner they got is good.
Peoples is good. Williams is good. And then they got another kid. Noel last night had 12 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. Is that who you're talking about? Maybe.
It don't matter really.
The kid that scored the first touchdown for him. The kid from, I think he's from Texas.
Probably Peoples.
The freshman.
I like Peoples.
Yeah, I mean, he had some speed in the second level.
All right. JP, ready for a break? Find you in there. We're way behind on that. It's time we're going to go to do some NFL picks and a little bit more and talk about some high school football coming up on ktcbroadcasting.com.
When is being different a good thing? Well, at Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City, our customers say we're different. Look at our Google reviews. They say we're different too. We have the region's only non-commissioned sales force. We use no haggle, clear choice pricing, and we have the only lifetime warranty with no time or mileage limits. When our customers leave, they say, that was a great experience. And that's where we're most different. That's Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram, and we're located in Forest City.
Join Milton Baker for the West End Sale Swap Shop, Monday through Friday on Carolina Country, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Be the one.
Yes, Newsom tiptoes in the right side of the end zone for 6.
Catch live coverage of the Tar Heels all season long.
How about an interception for a touchdown? Goodbye. Michael Carter from 60 yards away. Right, that bell tower blue. Tar Heels win it.
Right here on your home for Carolina football.
On the Boston, Carolina Country, WHS Shelby, WLO in Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville, online at ktcbroadcasting.com. Looking for a new car? Maybe a pre-owned car or truck, or maybe an SUV? Then let your fingers do the walking and go to whatsupshopper.com. Local dealers with local vehicles. You don't have to drive all over the country. Just click on whatsupshopper.com and take a look at the local selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, and more from local dealers in Gaston, Cleveland, and Lincoln counties. Car shopping just got easier by going to whatsupshopper.com. Pick yours out today.
We're ready to hit the road for the holidays. Are you? With Red Roof Ready Clean, we promise to provide you a clean and safe stay along the way. Plus, a portion of your Red Roof stay is going to charities that benefit military members, children, and students. You'll get 15% off. We'll donate a portion of your stay to the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, Flying Horse Farms, and the Freedom Alliance. Now's the time for a holiday stay at Red Roof, a safe place to stay on the holiday road. Go to redroof.com for all the holiday offers.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with the guys. I think they're talking football now.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. There you go, JP. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I can see the streaming has football helmets on it, so I just took a guess.
All right. Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 190 Oak Street Extension, our sponsor on Saturday Sports Talk, so we thank you. They're located in Forest City, North Carolina. You can call them at 828-919-3001. Again, that's 828-919-3001 for Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. And Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension, also in Forest City, North Carolina. Call them at 828-245-1661. That's 828-245-1661, guys.
All right, Tommy, got a question for you. I talked to Hunter about this on Wednesday. If the season ended today, the Dallas Cowboys would have the 4th pick in the draft. Bengals are at 3. They would not be looking for a quarterback. However, Jacksonville at 2 and Jets at 1. Jacksonville definitely, Jets maybe, maybe not with Sam Darnold. If it ends up in Dallas has the 4th pick going into the draft, does Jerry Jones make moves to get up to 1 to get Trevor Lawrence and put a star on Trevor Lawrence's helmet? If he's sitting at 4, he's close enough to make the moves to get it done. Or does he sit there and take the 2nd or 3rd quarterback? Talk about Jerry Jones here.
Jerry Jones will do something stupid.
Terry, does he make the move? I think he will, but should he? I guess, Cowboy, your thoughts on that? They're sitting at 4. You can pay Dak $35 million or $40 million, whatever he wants for 3 to 5 years, or you can make a bundle. You can even trade Dak to the Jets or the Jaguars to move up and get possibly Trevor Lawrence to be the future face of the Dallas Cowboys.
I sit here and say he doesn't make the move. And the reason being because we saw what happened to Joe Burrow. He's done. I mean, he just went to Cincinnati and he's already out. He cannot finish the year. Dak will be coming back. You know what Dak can do. And you're not going to make that effort to go after Lawrence at number 1 because you're going to give up. You probably give up Dak plus another pick. And I wouldn't be surprised if they wouldn't have to have 3, the Jets would, to even talk about Lawrence. You know, and then you got to really consider, does Lawrence even want to go play for the Jets? He could opt out of that and go back to college.
Saying. That's one thing. You got another wrinkle in it. If you're Trevor Lawrence and you got Jets and Jaguars and Dallas is at 4, do you not force your way to 4? That's what Eli Manning did. Yeah. Eli Manning went to he forced a trade, wasn't it? Wasn't it 1 and 4? I think Philip Rivers went 4, and so it isn't even on Jerry one that's what he will do, but his choices are: do I pay Dak $35 million, and again next year, remember this year you're the worst defense in the NFL, the only team giving up 30 points a game right now in the NFL. So you pay Dak $35 million and use the draft picks on defense, or you trade up and only pay your quarterback the $5 million. Well, it's about what Joe Burrow is making right now. It's somewhere around in that area.
Close.
Close. You pay him that, and then you got $30 million to spend on your defense, and still with you still have some draft picks.
I would question where my next picks are.
Right.
If I have no more in the first round. You know, I mean, I'm going to have to give up something. I might end up giving up a second round here.
But your first
just
pick
to go is
Trevor Lawrence. Though.
Yes, yeah, you're right. But you're needing help at the offensive line. You're needing help at corners. I mean, are you making an upgrade? Can you protect Lawrence when he gets there? Cincinnati couldn't.
Right.
Jerry wants the sexy pick. That's why he took CD. And looks like CD's kind of paying off. And this is, I made this kind of scenario up when he asked me this week. If you were Jerry You just took the wide receiver. CD looks like he's paying off. You got a young Michael
CD's
Gallup,
good.
and you want to make a little, and you want to move a little bit of money. Say you do make some of the trade pieces, at least with the 4 pick, maybe like you said, giving up another 2 picks. Instead of trying to give up Dak, maybe Amari, because the Jets need weapons everywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe try and move off of Amari because you did just give him a
But are you
ton
going
of
to keep
money.
Dak? Why would you keep Dak?
Well, you can move off Dak. You know that. You don't have to franchise him.
The Jets.
You could let him walk and see if anybody else will take him and save money.
If
You could.
If I heard right, the Jets already have a ton of picks, right?
Oh, they're loading up because they know
have a
how
ton of
bad
picks.
they are.
They have a ton of picks. I think they've gotten. I think they're going to have 2 first-rounders this year, 2 next year. Did I hear that right? I know they've got.
The question is who will be making those picks? Because I'm guessing it's not going to be Adam Gase.
And not just that. Are they going to stay with Sam Darnold, or are they going to let him go?
That's the biggest question. Are they staying with Darnold? Whether the new guy comes in, usually they don't.
Darnold hasn't
If your
played enough
picks
really
are
to let
good
him know.
enough to make them better, they're going to stay with Sam Darnold. And then we would give him Cooper, or we'd
That'd
give
be the
him
best wide receiver he'd have.
ever had.
That he'd ever had.
Yeah.
Cooper in the 4 pick.
But I think
if you're the Jets and you like Sam Darnold, why wouldn't you want Cooper in the 4 pick instead of Trevor Lawrence? If you like, remember, that's the key words. If you like Sam Darnold, there's no reason you wouldn't want Cooper in the 4th pick, because then Cooper and a left tackle to go with Sam Darnold. Okay, I'll take it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Or they'd go after a bunch of our linebackers, which Dallas is pretty deep at linebacker. But they'd probably want somebody.
You're the worst defense in the NFL.
Well, we're the worst defense.
Anybody on the
count
defense
Mike
can go.
Nolan.
Listen,
we're the worst defense. We have got better
You
on
don't
defense.
trade for linebackers.
You trade for skill
Okay,
positions.
you don't trade for a linebacker.
And the Jets,
no disrespect to linebacker, you don't trade.
It's nothing about trading.
It's not,
the Jets have been boring
It's not
on offense.
1980 where you need linebackers to fill the holes.
The
It's gonna
Jets
run
have
65%.
struggled to score points too, so that for them, putting weapons and protection around Sam Darnold, if they were to go with Sam Darnold, forward is, to me, that would be the highest priority. So if you were able to do that, if they called you, say you're Jerry, and they called you and said, would you throw Amari in on that deal, would you take it? Because then think
You're
about
talking about I'm dropping back to 4th, you're going to 1st, and all I'm giving up is Amari Cooper?
And the
and the 4th pick.
Amari
and
in the 4
pick?
for one.
Well, heck, who wouldn't jump with that?
Because then you're telling me that you're fine with
That's
letting
easy.
Dak Prescott walk. You wouldn't have to pay him because remember, you would have to franchise tag him again
I
next year
have
if you want him, or give him a long
And you
term.
have
I don't care
Lawrence
about
on the rookie
anybody.
contract,
I don't care about anybody's feelings here.
I don't
I'm a
either.
GM. All I'm looking at is bottom line. If I could pay Trevor Lawrence $5 million or Dak Prescott $35, I'm going to pay Trevor the 30.
Well, technically,
the 5.
Dak Prescott, if he gets franchised next year, is closer to $40
Yeah, it's going to
million.
be like $41 million.
That's what I'm saying. We're way above, to me, what we should be playing Dak, and I've said that all summer long. And here we are again. We're paying him a lot of money this year. We don't know how he's going to be when he comes back. Is he better than what we got? Yes, he is.
Well, then, is it in your best interest as a Dallas Cowboys fan to lose out?
Or we should.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just going to say it like it is, but with the Giants winning last week, that left Dallas right back in it. I mean, it looks like we said when we come on here, every one of the NFC teams will lose this week.
Yes.
Once you do that, Dallas's last 3 games against Cincinnati, against Philadelphia, and against the Giants. If Dallas would go 3-0 right then, Dallas wins the NFC East.
At 6-10.
Yes.
6-10 or 5-11 will get you
I
in
think
this
there's
division.
never been a 6-10 team in the playoffs. This will be history.
Worst one's 7.
Yeah, it's going to happen this year in the NFC East, the worst team. And then what's going to happen
And
is,
guess what?
as
It's
I'm
not
sitting
even a
here
wild
telling you-
card. That's a division winner.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is that team's going to win in the first round of the playoffs.
No, they're not.
They will.
No.
It'll come down to who their wild card matchup is.
No, they will not win in the first round.
All right, so looking at my our power rankings. This one's more of mine. This is the Super Bowl elimination power rankings where we kick out a team each week. This week I decided to just kick out the NFC East, Hunter.
Well, you cannot do
It's
that.
hot garbage. Yeah, you're not winning the championship, Jerry.
Yeah, well, you cannot do that.
I can, I will, and I am. It's my poll, and I'll take my ball and I'll go home. So 14th right now is the Giants in the playoffs right now, technically. Give you some quick stats. The 49 and 54 Super Bowl winners have been top 12 defenses. Here's your top 12: Steelers, Dolphins, Ravens, Rams, Saints, Chiefs, Washington, Bears, Colts, Giants, 49ers, Patriots, and Bucks are your top defenses in the NFL. Your worst defense in the NFL, Terry, 32.6 points a game. The Dallas Cowboys.
From a top 6 defense last year to the worst.
Like, absolute worst.
And all we lost was Byron Jones.
Detroit Lions.
Think of that.
Jaguars, Jets, and Raiders are right there with you guys at 29 points.
Here's the only issue I take issue with it. I would have Cleveland 8, Indianapolis 9, and Buffalo 6.
How can you put Cleveland up there so high at number 6?
That's what I would do. But
Right
Cleveland
now-
beat Indianapolis.
Right now, Cleveland is second in their division.
Cleveland has beaten one above 500 team.
Phillip Rivers.
Terry, are they not in position to make the playoffs over the Baltimore?
So in other words, what you're really telling me, their division and who they play is so weak that you're going to finish 8-3, and that's how the NFL does it. The teams who are terrible every year get a great round and play in a bunch of teams who cannot win anyway.
It was their year to play the NFC East.
But this is their year of having one win above teams over 500. They're the only team that's in the playoff right now with a minus on their schedule of total points. A minus.
Well, Terry, you might be right, but they're still second in their division.
It's wins, baby.
All right, so Terry's right in a lot of
one
facts.
and done.
You're all right, but here's the thing. That whole second line, just look at it. It's a lot of inconsistent hot garbage. We don't know what we're getting from any of them. Cleveland plays Tennessee this week. We'll find out this weekend about that. Buffalo, talking about them, they got beat by the Cardinals. So I don't know how far I can put them up on that list. Seahawks defense has been garbage.
They got beat by the Cardinals in a freaking lucky Hail Mary pass.
It doesn't matter how.
Good God,
still got
dude.
beat by them. Buccaneers have lost 5 games. Terry's Phillip Rivers pick was just fantastic last week. And then, of course, the Rams are inconsistent. That whole second row is inconsistent. But the top 4, I think, I'm not even that sold on Green Bay. I just had to stick somebody in there. But the top 3, I feel very confident in Steelers, Saints, and Chiefs are poll. Steelers 1, Saints 2, Chiefs 3, Packers 4, Titans 5, Browns 6, Rams 7, Colts 8, Bills 9, Seahawks 10, Bucks 11, Dolphins 12, Cardinals 13. Out of the playoffs right now are the Ravens, the Raiders, the Patriots, the Vikings, and the Chicago Bears right now out of the playoffs.
And right now, Trace McSorley is the only quarterback active for Baltimore unless
Can I ask you something, though?
Jackson can clear. Yeah.
And there must be something that I'm missing, and I know it goes by protocol. But how in the world can Denver play a game with 4 quarterbacks not able to play, and they got to fish somebody in there to play quarterback, which he did play in college. Ain't got no problem with that. But they had to fish somebody in there. But Baltimore, their game keeps getting moved so we can accommodate for them to have enough players to play. How does that happen? How comes Denver had to go out there and play without a quarterback?
They agreed to it. They agreed to play. They don't care. They're not going anywhere.
Terry, also, Baltimore, it was more than just one position that was ravaged with COVID. It was the tight end spot, the running back spot, the quarterback spot, the offensive line. And what I mean though is,
who's the number 1 person on your team?
Your quarterback. I can't argue. I know it's quarterback, but I'm just saying the only people that were affected for Denver was the quarterback. Other than that, everybody else was free to play. Offensive line, everybody was clean. Wide receivers clean. Tight ends, running backs, your defense was clean. The only person was quarterback. Now, I can't help that every single one of your quarterbacks, due to contact tracing, came in contact with him, and so therefore, by the NFL's policy, none of them could play. But at the same time, it was only the 4 people compared to the 14 to 15 different players on that list for Baltimore. So
how do you know Jackson and Dobbins and all of them wasn't around all each other and not doing protocol? How do you know that?
Terry, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just telling you if you look at it just from the outside looking in, it was easier for them just to put the 4 guys to the side, and unfortunately, they don't have just somebody in the waiting like who is it that has Josh McCown waiting at home in case they need an emergency quarterback. I think every team would have been smart doing that this year.
They asked him if they could play their offensive coordinator, and the NFL told him no because he knew the offense the best. Seriously, that was that. They said, can we put him in? The NFL told him no. I don't know what the exact reason.
Should have asked if John Elway could have stood it up.
Is that the NFL doesn't want you storing backup players as coaches on the roster. Okay, yeah. So that was that reasoning. But then there was another reason, like why you couldn't sign Kaepernick or Tebow or whoever off the street. There was another reason because you had to go through COVID stuff like that. So they were put in a weird situation. I don't know. I agree, Terry. I agree. They did Denver wrong. Baltimore go out there and take their whooping earlier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand because now Jackson should be cleared by Sunday, and Dallas got to play him Tuesday, where we would have already played him last night.
And then
on
it
Thursday
affects
night.
the Steelers having to play 2 games.
It's supposed to be a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Well, Steelers got to play 2 games in 4 days now instead of 2 games in 10 days. All right, here, let's do some picks. Saints favored by 3 in Atlanta. Tommy. Saints.
I got burned by Atlanta last week.
Favored by 3 in Atlanta.
I got burned by Atlanta last week, but I think, of course, still no Drew Brees, right?
Still no Drew. Still Taysom.
He's played well. I'm going with the Saints.
Yeah, Tom. Them dirty birds might
The
get
Saints
you again.
march into Atlanta, and they do what Sherman did to it. They burn it down.
Oh, God. Here we go. Lions at Bears, Terry. Lions at Bears. Oh, my. Bears favored by 3.
And you take the Bears. They're playing at home.
Trubisky is playing again.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
The Lions got a lot of players that are questionable. Even Matt Stafford's questionable in this game.
You got 2 problems here. You never bet on the Detroit Lions, and you also never bet on a Tar Heel quarterback. So
the Lions just fired their coach.
Yeah, thank God.
Hunter. Brownies at Titans. Titan with the next to last best pass rush in the NFL.
Yeah, they don't have a good pass rush.
The Browns, Nick Chubb, we talked about during this week, may be the best running back that you hand the ball off to in the NFL. Do the Brownies beat the Titans? This is a possible playoff matchup for both teams in Tennessee.
No. I think the Titans at home are going to win this game.
5.5 is the spread.
Good pick, Hunter. Good pick.
Listen. I watched Indianapolis last week, who has a great defense, have no answer for Derrick Henry.
But they had 5 guys out.
They had no answer for Derrick Henry. And your defense is spotty in Cleveland. You're not going to be able to handle Derrick Henry.
Pass defense. I am worried.
Y'all play good at home, Tom, but y'all can't play on the road.
But can either team stop the other team's running back? Browns got the best running backs in the NFL.
The best running back. Tennessee has the best running back.
Yeah, running back is at Tennessee.
Y'all heard the S.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it has to be S.
Like they didn't hear that.
No, I said running backs to running back, which is in Tennessee, and Tannehill's better than Baker Mayfield.
Basically the Browns, Tom. See what's basically with Chubb and Hunt, we have Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen out there running around.
Baker Mayfield hadn't thrown an interception in 3 games.
And Jay Schrader,
because they're not letting it. Because think about it, they're not letting him throw the ball.
Yeah, he's taking hand it off.
Or facts.
Hand it off.
They're not letting him throw the ball.
They don't let that dude
Tennessee
run around no more.
will win this ball game.
All right, Hunter, we're gonna go back around the table because I want to hear you whine about this one.
Which one?
The Bengals at Dolphins. No Burrow and no Tua for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this game at the beginning of the year looks like we're gonna be able to see Joe Burrow versus Tua.
Yeah.
Well,
you know you want to watch.
I guess not.
Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic is favored by 11.
You know,
in
I
Cincinnati?
think the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins win this game. I really do.
They got
the problem is the Bengals
or second best. Now.
They don't have a quarterback.
Well,
and
so
if you don't have a
the
quarterback,
Dolphins?
yeah, I'm picking the Dolphins.
That's what I thought. Good pick.
Yeah,
Terry,
Bengals
Jaguars at Vikings. Vikings favored by 10.
Minnesota playing at home.
Tommy, Raiders. And I told Hunter this week after that pick and that loss last week that y'all are not allowed to tell me how good the Raiders are anymore until after this week because they play the damn Jets. So, Raiders at Jets. Raiders favored by 8.5. Do the Jets get off the schneid?
They do not.
Oh, okay. So
The Raiders better not do to me what they did last week.
Raiders.
46 to
I don't mind.
They're still a possible playoff team if they just continue to win.
Of course, I hope, like I say, I hope I'm wrong again because let them lose again, then it's harder for them to make the playoffs.
Colts at Texans. Colts favored by 3.
I like the Colts. The Texans are still just flailing. And they're
not flailing. Watson is playing lights out.
Tom, you got 3 wins.
They're 4-7.
I know you
they're
got
4
wins. And who was their last one against?
They're 3-1 in their last 4, but Watson is playing pretty good ball. You just can't say they're flailing.
Huh?
Time to pick his games.
Yeah, pick your game.
Terry,
pick your
Rams
games.
at Cardinals.
Keep believing that Deshaun Watson
2
juice.
teams that are highly
playing crap
inconsistent.
teams.
Good luck with this one. Rams favored by 3.
Rams win and the Cardinals are done.
Put a fork in the Arizona Cardinals, says Terry.
Yeah, Tom, your
Reinhardt.
pick at the start of the year, get ready to crash.
No, they did pretty good, though.
All right,
They were
Tommy.
my sweetheart pick. They were
Giants
my
at
underdog pick.
Seahawks.
Giants at Seahawks?
Yeah.
Giants at the Seahawks?
Yes.
No
Are
Daniel
you kidding
Jones.
me?
No Daniel
The
Jones.
Giants, the Giants are going to be turned into midgets.
Hunter, Eagles at Packers.
Green Bay.
Green Bay's favored by 8.5. Terry,
I think that's closer, but
Patriots at Chargers. Chargers favored by 1.5.
Well, Bill Belichick out-coach the Chargers. So Brady will win this week. Not Brady.
Brady's not
Newton.
playing for him.
Newton.
Terry, I have to say that's an awful pick. Tom, Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 13.5.
That's an easy one. Let's go with the Chiefs.
I go back to Tom since that was the easy one. How about this? Maybe another easy one. We'll see. Washington at Steelers.
That's an easy one.
Monday night at 5
As much as I hate the Steelers,
not so fast.
They'll beat the Maryland or the DC metro area.
Not so
Terry,
fast.
Terry, Bills at 49ers. 49ers favored by 1.
49ers win.
Bad pick.
Think about this. If the 49ers win, they're still in wild card. We're actually today still in wild card contention.
All right, Hunter, Cowboys in Baltimore on Tuesday night.
Baltimore should be back to full strength.
All right, JP, you ready? Time for a break. We'll be back in a minute on ktcbroadcasting.com.
You know, we always tell our kids that there's no such thing as a money tree. But did you know at Friendship Nissan in Forest City, we kind of do have a money tree? Our money tree gives a $500 better price on any new Nissan, and that's a $500 guarantee that we put in writing. We have no haggle clear choice pricing, the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and we have the only lifetime warranty with no time or mileage limits. So you see, at Friendship Nissan, we kind of do have a money tree, and we're located in Forest City.
Spending too much time at home with nothing to do? Then go shopping. That's right, go shopping at whatsupshopper.com. Local area businesses are featuring their products and services on whatsupshopper.com. You can also play our contest, listen to the swap shop, and more. Make it one of your favorites. There are also valuable coupons from area businesses. And as they say, let your fingers do the walking and shop online at whatsupshopper.com. You'll love it.
Country Gold with Terry Clark.
I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me for Country Gold, where we play your favorites from the 80s and 90s. My guest this week will be Larry Stewart, lead singer of the group Restless Heart. He has a new holiday album called Every Day is Christmas, with a special appearance by Pam Tillis. We'll talk holiday traditions and Christmas music. That's Larry Stewart and me this week on Country Gold with Terry Clark.
Thursday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com. It's time to saddle up and head to Lewis Feed and Western Store in Gastonia for special deals for Christmas. Right now, take 10% off ladies' long sleeve button-up shirts. All boots are on sale. Ariat long sleeve shirts are 10% off. A rack of assorted jeans priced from $29.99 to $39.99. Cinch button-up shirts, $39.99. And men's rock and roll jeans, $64.99. Plus Combs jeans, winter gloves, outerwear for men, and horse blankets and supplies. Lewis Feed and Western Store, 2815 South York Road, Gastonia. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
Christmas time is a great time to reach out to friends and let them know you care about them. Everyone at Dellinger's Electric in Cherryville brings you good wishes throughout this Christmas season and for the new year. Best wishes for a Merry Christmas and a magnificent New Year to you and your family. This from everyone at Dellinger's Electric, 300 Main Street in Cherryville. Call 704-435-0705.
And we're back on Sam Moore Sports. Sorry, one of the ads didn't play, so it ended abruptly.
So you were doing good or bad again, JP?
No, I was doing good,
we're
but
keeping score in here, trying to.
I was doing good, and then it just stopped. It wasn't even on the last.
Just wait
ad.
until they make the robots that replace you, much less the interns. We'll
Really?
So yesterday announced the Athletic Association is reducing the teams from 8 brackets in the football back to 4 like all other sports, and they split up the schools 25%. We've advocated here on KTC for years 5A and a charter bracket, and then go from there. 54 schools in each bracket now, 55 in the 1As. Some teams have moved up, some teams have moved down. I want to highlight some of them and then kind of talk about some of the other possible conferences. They haven't finalized that yet, but we're going to see looking at that. You guys have y'all sheets in front of you. Over in the 1A, Terry, what about the Thomasville Bulldogs down in the 1A? That's going to be a tough out, right, in a lot of sports.
For sure. Very for sure.
Looking across the board as well, Cherryville stays in the 1A. Bessemer City stays in the 1A. Albemarle still in the 1A. Does anybody
Not as
go
good
down?
as what they used to be.
Did anybody go down, Terry, that you see or notice in that in the 1A? I'm not seeing anything other than maybe that Thomasville. I think they used to be 2A.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that sounds right.
All right, over in the 2A, though, we did have some movement in that. 2A and 3A, Hunter Huss and South Point basically switched spots, so I guess that'll be an easy feel on the as far as the conferences go with that one. That shouldn't be hard for those two conferences just to switch that. Burns stays in the 2A. Chase stays in the 2A. East Gaston in the 2A. East Rutherford, Huss, Lincoln Charter. They don't have football, but they have the other sports. Lincoln, Maiden. Maiden was threatening to move up to 3A based on the early polling, and they've stayed in the 2A for right now. Now, these are 99% done unless there's a mistake and not a like.
How is Monroe still 2A?
I don't know. So what they've done, Tom, is me and Hunter, we talked about the other day. They got a formula that's worse than the BCS with 4 numbers.
Oh my gosh, that's another reason why I said we got dumb people in important positions. This algorithm that they're doing.
So it's an average of your last 4 years, and then 4 different numbers and an average of those numbers over the 4 years. Is this how they got with these numbers?
As if the numbers don't change year to year.
Right.
Why are you looking at the past?
So Community School of Davidson moves up from the 1A to the 2A. Vandy stays in 2A. They were rumored to be moving to 3, but they stayed in the 2.
That's where they need to be.
Also, looking down through there, I thought Pine Lake Prep moves up from the 1A to the 2A as well. Mountain Island Charter stayed in the 1A. Over in the 3A, Ashbrook, of course, stays there. But East Lincoln and North Lincoln are now moving to the 3A, back where they have been in the past. Now, this is where we can't answer questions right now. Terry, what do you think or expect those teams will do as far as conference in the 3A? Are they going to go Hickory way? Are they going to come Big South way? Or are they going to look towards now? Here's the thing with them. High Brighton's conference last year was what? It was the Northwest Foothills or something like that. That conference has got split. Half of them went 3A, half of them went 2A. So East and North can pretty much play with High Brighton, who's now in the 3A. In that conference, do you think East and North will go that way, or look towards the Gaston County schools for their conference?
I think they'll all end up going over towards like they were before, West Iredale, into that bracket, Statesville.
Okay.
I mean,
the North Lake Norman area?
Yes. And I mean, I just feel like that's how they're going to end up doing like they were before. I would rather them go the High Brighton way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for us, but I got a good feeling that's not going to happen.
You think they're going to stay east or wise?
And the thing that I always look at this, and we talk about going from 8 down to 4, and everybody's wanted it where Shelby and Reesville get to play each other, because one was always in one and the other one in the other, and they had always win championships.
Well, Reesville's close to going to 1A. They were on the 1A bracket originally.
Now, can you imagine if they went to 1A?
That's what I'm saying. They were originally in the 1A. They're right on the line.
Well, that means they're losing kids too. So
right.
That might not hold true very much longer because a lot of these schools, especially if you got a couple charter schools pop up around, they're going to lose kids and drop down.
So, Terry, do you think then, do you think the South Fork 2A will just replace East and North with Bunker and Ford, or will there be some other shakeup there? Do you think East, Lincoln, and West will look towards the Southwest to go in the Tri-County with what they do in middle school?
The smart scenario would go Bunker Hill and Fred T. Ford
joining the conference.
I mean, that's just me.
That's
looking.
The easiest, I think, as far as that goes. Those teams have been y'all have all been in their conferences before.
Yes. And you start talking about football wise, it's going to be very hard for us to go up here and play a Burns, Shelby, those consistent teams, East Rutherford.
Who's replacing South Point?
Hunter Huss.
Yeah,
Huss.
Probably. Yeah. Which we've played Hunter Huss.
Now, y'all beat South Point last year.
Yeah.
But Huss consistently has been giving Kings Mountain and these guys in Charlotte Catholic some runs the past few years.
Yeah, we played Hunter Huss when he had the running back that went to Syracuse. I think it's where he went. Yeah, I remember. But
Monell went to Forest U. Is the one who went to Syracuse. Huss.
Yeah, it's a few years back. Anyway, the guy that was there then, we had them beat at halftime, and then all of a sudden Gardner stuck him back in the game for the second half because he would have been penalized for the first half, and then they end up beating us like by 4 or 5 points in a playoff game. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's best for us to go that way. I don't care. I mean, I think it depends if you go over all sports.
I was going to say, one thing, you can't just think football.
Yeah, West Lincoln can compete against anybody in baseball. We can compete against anybody in wrestling. We can compete against anybody in girls softball. I mean, there's some sports out there we can't. Golf, we can compete with anybody in the 2A in golf because our golf team has become pretty top 4 or 5 in the state the last few years. But, football-wise, we might suffer there. But everything else I think would be okay.
All right, Terry,
basketball would not compete.
Final thoughts on that. Up to the 4A, AC Reynolds and Charlotte Catholic bump up to 4A. What do you think about that?
I've always said Charlotte Catholic should have been 4A from a long time ago.
They should have been playing 4. Any private school that recruits, they need to play up one division.
I mean, they can go get people out of South Carolina to come there and play. North Carolina teams cannot jump over the line over there to get people.
Yeah. Unless you're Gaffney and get Kobe Pace.
Yeah.
The only one that stands out to me when I look at this is high school coach that was at Bandy's for a while, Trent Lohman's team, East Surrey. They were the 1AA champions. Well, now they play in 2A. Now that everything's compacted into 4, it's just you're gonna see those things where you had maybe the 2AA champion is now part of 3A, the 1AA championship is now part of 2A, the 3AA championship is now part of 4A. This is just going to be one of those things where I feel like the competition when you get later into the playoffs is just going to be a lot better. And, I'm not going to sit here and say East Surrey is going to match up great with Shelby. But at least Shelby's not going to have the easy road, it seems like, every year where, it's just ride them in. Ride them in. It just seems like you could just ride them in each and every year. This year you're gonna have people that have competed at the lower level of the 1A. And it's just, I think it's better competition-wise, at least when it comes to the playoffs. How they do this conference-wise, we'll just have to see.
So 32 teams are supposed to be in the playoffs from the West. It's going to be a 64-team bracket. So 32 of 54 schools will be still in the playoffs from the West. So that'll just tell you about probably where we'll have some records. The first few rounds may have a couple blowouts there. But nonetheless, we'll see where it goes from here and let you guys know as far as our coverage goes, if and when we'll have anything on KTC and high school sports coming up this spring. We just don't know what we're going to be able to do, if anything. So we'll just keep you updated on that. There's your brackets. There's today's show. Final thought, Hunter. John Wall for Russell Westbrook.
Hate it.
Hunter hates it. As a Wizards fan, he's a Wizards fan.
All I've ever
They
seen.
gave away a pick too, right?
Yeah, we gave a pick, but picks really don't matter if they're in the later of the draft. The problem I have with it is, I mean, I said it was the same player for the same player, but the way I look at it is, John Wall, I know he likes to score, but he is a walk-in at least 10 to 15 and assists. And not only that, he plays better defense than Russell Westbrook does. He doesn't try and shoot nearly as much as Russell Westbrook does from the three-point line, where Russell Westbrook is actually the worst. He's only like a 30, I think he's almost a 29.5, 30% three-point shooter. So to me, it's just, if Russell Westbrook comes in and is trying to play the same exact game that he's played everywhere else, while we've got Bradley Beal, who's the sharp shooter that he is, standing there in the corner, who should be fed the ball more. I feel like Bradley Beal has now been put in the same position that James Harden and Kevin Durant had to deal with, where Russell Westbrook is going to take shots away from him when you know that Bradley Beal can score with better ease from the perimeter than Russell Westbrook it will. I don't know. I don't like the move. Regardless whether we would have kept John Wall or not, I think whether we had John Wall or we have Russell Westbrook with us right now, we're still a playoff team. We're still a playoff team, at least in the East, 6 or 7 seed. I'm fine with it, but the trade overall, I'm just not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it, and it's just because, I mean, technically, I think Russell Westbrook, his whole career, would have been better at the 2 guard. Well, Bradley Beal is the 2 guard, so I don't know.
So you got an NBA MVP,
right,
for John Wall, who has been injured his whole career
And played almost 2 years.
That's what I'm saying.
I know he hadn't played in almost 2 years. I just know when John Wall and Bradley Beal were both meshing at their best, we were 4 seed in the East, and we did, and that was without like any kind of substantial shooters or help. We were 4 seed because they can work off of each other. Because John Wall is an assist man. That's what he is. He can get you 20 and 10 any night with points and assists.
You think?
Well,
Coming
you think.
back.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with anybody coming off a century. You can say the same thing about Kevin Durant coming off his Achilles. We never know if he'll be the same. To me, I know what Russell Westbrook is. He's a high-volume shooter that I think he doesn't need to be taken away from Bradley Beal, who last year, coming off the All-Star break, was averaging 30 points a game. I don't think you need to take away shots from him. But we'll see. You know,
his comment was, "I'm shocked at the trade."
Yeah, Brad Beal was he was pretty. I mean, it's just one of those things where I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, that is our show today. We will be back again next week. Tom, you want to give one more shout out to Friendship before we get out of here?
I sure do. Friendship sponsors our show. They're at 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City. That's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Call them at 828-919-3001. And Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension in Forest City. Call them at 828-245-1661.
And from us here in our studios, Cherryville, North Carolina, thank you for listening to Saturday Morning Sports Talk here, KDC Broadcasting.
The incredible man, I only do things incredible can, 'cause I